Hey guys. Well, that's
Evening, guys.
evening, guys.
Yeah,
How's it?
evening for us three, definitely. Happy
Yeah.
Friday night recap, guys. How are you both?
Yeah, I'm good. Just recovering from
What are you
a.
recovering
I
from?
don't even know what I'm recovering from. I think I'm just a little bit burnt out. Been a
There was
busy couple of weeks. A lot going on.
they
We've
were, they were saying it was a freshers flu that's
freshers
gone
food.
around.
I haven't been to the freshers, not yet.
Not
So
for a
we've got
decade or so.
yeah, we've got Arthur with us from the Cooperative Network.
Hi.
Arthur, how are you doing?
Well, I'm not burned out yet
No, that's good.
because uh, because I live in the countryside and
Nice.
I can't get burned out. Sometimes, yesterday, I just put everything away. No, no laptop, no phone, nothing for like 4 hours.
Wow.
You really feel recharged if you
So
don't
interesting.
use these devices for a few hours.
I
So
think if I feel like I misplaced my phone for a minute, I'm just like, hey, where is it? Where is it?
Yeah.
Someone call my mobile. Someone call my mobile.
I think we're so addicted to like technology, phones, Instagram,
we are.
TikTok. I don't use TikTok though, but I know the younger generation loves TikTok. And what else we got? We got LinkedIn. I don't. Do you know what? I don't even use LinkedIn as much anymore.
Yeah.
I think I'm just
Absolutely.
in and out. Yeah, I'm just like
Mhm.
more like just talk to the people I know. Maybe put a post if I feel good, and I'm just like I just turn it off. And I get tons of messages. People are like,
They have
"Hey."
made it, they have made it hyper addictive though, right? Like they even call like that notion of being able to just scroll and scroll and scroll. There's a name for that. It's called infinite scroll. Right?
Yeah,
that name as well just tells you what the intent is.
no, for sure.
But now I've probably heard of a couple of things where people go abroad and do like digital detoxes. I think what
Yep.
Arthur does is a great thing. He's in the countryside. He proactively detoxes probably every other day. But then he's a hell of a lot more wiser than me and you. So
For sure. Arthur, tell us more about, what you do with the Cooperative Network, how you founded it. Just give us a little bit of background.
Yeah. The co-op network is set for the future. It's built for a ownership economy,
Mm-hmm.
which will certainly come because of AI.
Mm-hmm.
So ownership economy means you get a stake in the business
Mm-hmm.
and you are a co-owner in the business. That means you also share profits with all your stakeholders. And when you are a stakeholder, you can participate actively. You're not you're it's different like a stock,
Mm-hmm.
as a stakeholder, you can actively participate and take decisions and propose things. Yeah, you can be active in the entire process. And
Nice.
for it to be transparent, we use blockchain technology.
Mm-hmm.
Although the crypto industry is in bad shape because there are thousands of scams daily. Everybody wants to scam somebody and just extract some money from people. The technology itself is sound,
Yeah.
and it will be used in the future for sure. I mean, banks are using it now without us knowing it, but
Mm-hmm.
so why not use it for a community?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And so how did you, what was your thinking behind setting up the cooperative network, going in,
It's for me, it's simple: build businesses, own assets, and trade equities. These three things. If you do these, you have everything.
Makes sense.
You can build wealth. For me, it's very important to build wealth, but not only for myself as an individual, for and with a community.
No, but how many have you? Sorry, go ahead.
There are a lot of smart people, and they have no voice. And when they come into a community, they start talking, they start expressing themselves, and they can bring very, very good ideas into a process of building, let's say. Yeah, I encountered some very, very smart individuals which became members in the co-op, and they have very good ideas. So we will start develop. We have a private sale now. We have to raise a certain amount so we can start building businesses, start building our trading AI, because for trading we will use AI. It's everybody uses AI. So
Arthur, how many people do you have on the co-op, the community right now?
Members, you mean?
Members,
130 something, but not all are active. Not all are active, and I want to reach 3,000 because then we can decentralize everything. What is decentralized finance? What
Can you elaborate on that, like specifically why 3,000? And some of our viewers might not be as familiar with the notion of decentralization, so we'd love to know your philosophy around that as well.
I'm a big proponent of decentralization. It's the best thing to just engage with. You don't have to have an overlord. You don't have to have a CEO to interact with finance. You are a user and you interact with a smart contract. You don't need an overlord there. It's you and a smart contract. The contract offers you something. API, compound. It is constructed to offer you something, and you interact with that contract. You don't need. It's very important that the people which build that contract have the highest integrity. So
we've talked about that before, right? Where in the Dirt Rich Society Telegram group, the notion of crypto meme coins, rug pulls, and you're building a network with integrity, right?
The builder, if he's the owner of the contract, can do whatever he wants. He can rug pull you. He can drain all the money. He can, So
no, we see that.
For a DeFi platform, it's very important to have decentralized governance. It means you vote for a governance council from within the community, and there have to be 5 to 7 people, and these people will hold the control over the contracts for the community. and they don't know each other. So it's very hard to to break a contract at the end, because everybody has to be in consensus, you know.
So it's hard for like corruption,
Right.
working together,
Yeah.
and doing something that's out of line. How do you feel? What makes like the co-op blockchain? What are you on Ethereum, Solana? How is it? What would you say the infrastructure? How different is it to normal tokens? Is it similar? Is there something that you do unique?
We have a ecosystem with 3 tokens for now. It's a utility token, which is just it's used on the protocol also to buy goods and services. We have a digital hub where you can order digital goods.
Varun, can you share it? Can you share the
website? Yeah, for sure. Just bear with me.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on, Arthur. My
bad. We a digital hub. You can order digital products. If you want an app, if you want I don't know, a website, something, you just go to the digital hub and order it. Yeah. And you pay with tokens.
Okay. We had a question from Anton, my friend Anton. He said, I have a question. Why don't you use Polygon? Firstly, smart contracts are more secure. Secondly,
we launched on Polygon. It is on Polygon.
Okay. Makes sense. You already thought about it.
Yeah. You just
which industry or sectors are the strongest interest in adopting co-op today, and why, Arthur? As in, like, you want to focus on building businesses throughout the cooperative network. Right. Which ones are you mainly focused on at the moment? I think Varun's having a little look. I think when I met you out in Romania, when was this? 2022?
Yeah.
So 2022, I met Arthur and Adrian. Rest in peace, Adrian. But we met up in Romania. Was it Sibiu?
Yeah,
right, Sibiu. And what really took me back was the fact that you guys were really ahead of the curve. I feel like you were really looking at, hey, how can we turn this utility into something way more significant, as in, like, you guys were really working robotics. I remember when I saw the solar farm you had as well.
Yeah.
You in the medcan industry as well, medical cannabis, and the hemp, and then you had your own products, and I could really see, like, as it says there, your mission, and it did inspire us. Like, it's only lately we've where we've been focused on mining, we've taken a step back. And I was saying to Varun, I was like, Varun, Arthur's very, he knows his stuff, and he's someone who's definitely forward thinking. I think you're pretty way ahead of your time, if you know what I mean. You're ahead of the curve in the sense of even this cooperative network that you've set up, and
that doesn't help necessarily, but it pushes ideas into the ether. Maybe on a later point somebody picks it up. That's how I see it. It's very our project is very very early for the crypto industry, because it's a serious project. It's very serious.
Yeah.
Nowadays you don't find a serious project. So
Arthur, one thing I'd love to know is, like, just say all things go well, you get the investment that you need, you hit the 3,000 community, like, 5 years time, what does that actually start looking like? Like, what type of businesses are there? What does an ecosystem look like? I think I'd love to know more about that.
First of all, everybody will make passive income on the DeFi protocol. You can, because we have a 3-token system, if you have the equity token, you can borrow money from the protocol with 0 interest rates, and the loan to value is 100% for the equity token.
Okay.
We made it so that the entire community benefits from, let's say, you want to take a loan, you have collateral, your equity token, but you have to buy a small amount of utility tokens from a community pool. So that keeps the token with a certain value, and it's a first in first out pool.
Yeah.
You can manipulate that contract. It's a first in first out. So those utility tokens are locked. When you pay back your loan, they will be released to you minus a certain percentage which stays on the protocol. It can be burned, or we did a community emergency fund, or put into the community emergency fund, because we had members which had problems, for example, with a little child, 2 years old, with cancer at the eye level, and they needed a lot of money for surgery and so on. So that's the community pool.
That's cool. I
For
love that. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, that use case.
It's built for ethics. It's built for collaboration. It's built for integrity. These are the only things I see remaining after AI will take over.
When do you think AI will take over? What's your predictions, Arthur? You're really good at predictions. Is one thing.
I'm just making educated guesses. I think at the end of 2027 we will see AI everywhere. A lot of people without jobs because of the AI takeover. AI will code. AI will write every code. There's no more need for developers. AI will be the best hacker. Because it writes the code, it also will be the best hacker as well.
Yes.
And then we go into then the robots come, And
they're already coming. I think we've got Elon Musk has got his robot. There's tons of robots out there now.
Yeah, there's Figure, Optimus is Elon's. Then we have a fully fledged T1000 Skynet type scenario.
I think 2035 we will as humans become absolute. I mean, only our emotional intelligence, that will be the one thing where AI couldn't really take over.
It's funny because,
yeah.
On that topic though, it's like also sense that emotional intelligence, maybe because it's social media, maybe it's because we're stuck to our screens, maybe because we're using ChatGPT so much that our emotional intelligence, EI, is probably getting lowered and lowered, right?
Yeah,
as well.
I agree. For emotional intelligence to keep a certain level, you have to be in touch with nature. You have to at least 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day. Nature. That feeds your emotional intelligence. It's very important.
Yeah, and interacting with actual human beings, right? I think,
Absolutely.
how many times do you speak to someone on WhatsApp and you send messages and messages can get misconstrued? You're not.
That's a really good point, because it's even like the way me and Arthur met. I think originally we met through WhatsApp, or we were on calls.
Yeah.
And then it was only like, obviously at that point you haven't met the person, so you think, oh, they do something cool. It's when you go out there, when I went to Romania and I met you, and I was like, it's a different connection. We got each other, you have those deeper conversations, you build a relationship, and to a point where, you have a good impression on someone, and you don't get that through, this digital realm. You're never going to know how someone's feeling, because, when you're in the room with someone, you can feel them. No. Yeah.
That's probably why even the notion of cooperative network, having smart contracts, having an infrastructure in place where it's a whole notion trustless, right? I think when I started looking into Web3, it was like, well, what is even trustless, right? But then it's just the way that ecosystem is set up that it just allows people to get on with stuff. Like you said, people don't even have to know each other. There's just processes in place that just allow things to happen in a equal way, in essence, right?
Right. And whatever other contracts anybody wants to propose from the community, maybe they want a specialized contract. It can be built, but it has to be voted upon by the community. We did it like this now. I think there are 15 smart contracts on the platform, which you can use in different ways. But if you want something special, you can use the governance portal, propose, and community will vote. Also, I want to introduce personalized contract. Contracts where you, as a user, become also the owner of the contract, So you can't say you have been scammed or somebody, because if you are the owner, then it's in your hand.
Yeah. Well, do you think we'll get to a point where AI will have ownership on contracts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you will see companies with a single person, but with 20 AI agents working. Yeah, we'll see that.
It's already happening, right? I think you've got that on yours as well, right? Where you can build your own AI agent. There you go, AI agent. Yeah, that's good zoom in there. No, that's interesting, because then it's like, how do laws get passed where AI can own stuff as well? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, you can.
I don't know. That's
a difficult one.
AI is having. I think there was a TV series I watched called Human, something like that, where essentially they consumerized AI and robots. So the notion of having a companion or a helper in the house, and I found it quite interesting. Obviously, they went quite extreme. The AI got some form of subconsciousness or consciousness, and then you just go into a totally different realm on that topic. But yeah, it is like, I think we're seeing it more and more now. Like, I think it's getting actually harder to start distinguishing who is what is AI and what isn't. I think even shout out to Anton, shout out to you, mate, because I think even there was this notion of I think one of the guys that kind of jumps on every now and then in the comments. We weren't even sure, right? There he is, Anton W.
I actually spoke to him today and his wife, and they're really good people. They live in Russia, and it is a good story, because I think he would. Varun, you will say it better.
Yeah, no, it was just me and Anton have been speaking in the LinkedIn DMs for a while, and then I think he's a avid user of AI. Set some really great automations out there, which does commenting and outreach based on whatever prompt and his own personal brand and viewpoint. So I think he's hyper prompted it, and it kind of automates a process of scaling it, right? One human has multiple AI agents that represent him and his thoughts and his philosophies, and go out there and represents him and takes actions based on him. And then I think, he was commenting on the chat last week, and then from my perspective, I threw out there, I was like, you know what? I've never actually jumped on a call with Anton, seen him for real. And, I was like, I'm not sure if Anton's even real. But fortunately, like Umar spoke to him and his wife. So I appreciate Anton. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's real. He's
a number one fan.
He's a number one fan, and he's a Web3 expert as well. I think Anton, Arthur, we could put you in touch with Anton. He's obviously a Web3 CTO as well. So, but yeah, that's the notion of what we're talking about. It's getting more difficult to understand like what is real and what isn't. I think they were talking about even Meta are launching something soon in Instagram, Facebook, where essentially they are going to start pushing a lot more AI created content, but they're going to create their own AI content, and you just won't know. Like, it will just be in our feed, in our news feed, and we've already got. If we think about how much content before ChatGPT and OpenAI and generative AI got involved, it's probably in the trillions amount of content that was being created. Right now, we can have computers creating content and being able to publish it on social media, and it can be anything. And they're getting very, very accurate and very, very good. Now, I'll even put it out there. My LinkedIn photo, as smart as I look in it, that's AI generated, and people can't tell. Well, I'll say it, guys. It's AI generated. I don't look that good, really, not in real life. But yeah, no, I'm with you on. It's a we mentioned it last time we spoke.
You'd say like I'd say there's some really good things that AI can do, like these medical advancements is made, like these small advancements and etc. There's a lot of good things that AI is doing right now.
I agree, yeah.
And
as long as you have humans there, right? As long as humans are part of
it. So it's helping with human productivity for sure. Like, everyone's way more productive if you use it the right way. But as Arthur said as well, it's like, there's a turning point where it's like, okay, you're just going to select the AI agent or software over a human, and then it's what are those humans going to do after? Are they just going to not have jobs? We were talking last time about automated cars, taxis. The
machine economy is coming, of course, and will be AI driven. What will happen to the humans? Who knows? Maybe universal basic income. They're talking about that. I heard talks to build a lot of AI agents, and those agents will produce capital, and that capital will be distributed to humans. There are a lot of ideas.
Yeah, how much of that cap will be distributed, right, and how much will be pocketed is the thing that
No, they said they just give it over practically. These agents will work for a certain mass of humans, but I don't see the sense in this. It's senseless. I mean,
the rich are going to get richer.
We still are in a wage-based economy. That means somebody has to work to produce capital, and that capital again will be invested and redistributed, and so on and so on. When AI comes in, the worker is not needed anymore. So we're going from a wage-based economy into something else. And for humans, the only way is a ownership economy. I mean, I rather own 100 robots which work and produces goods, or work the fields, for in agriculture, and distribute that wealth among 3,000 people, than just sit at home watching or playing foolish games and eating, I don't know what, some bad food.
Yeah.
Plugged into the matrix, right? Because what are they going to do? You're right. If they're not working, brain activity is slow.
Yeah, I've been in a talk show where a co-speaker he said, yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna do. There will be, the agency will produce all the money, and the lazy humans will sit on their couch at home, play fucking games.
Yeah.
That's and they will eat whatever they are allowed to eat, because universal basic income, CBDCs are programmable. You can program them to buy, I don't know, only chips.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's already happening. I think we've got you can just go on an app, you can order your food, you can sit at home all day and claim benefits or
until they die off, they die off, and that's it.
It just sounds like the Matrix, when they're in the jelly and they're like, just plugged into the Matrix because life's so, we've destroyed the world and you got to transfer your consciousness to a computer. So it's literally that. But it's interesting you said about the the
CBDC.
CBDC, yeah. The European Union, the European Central Bank says that it would conduct new experiments next year about what could be achieved through a digital euro, and that came out today, which is interesting. So I thought, that's actually on topic. That's what it's going towards. We've got digital IDs coming out in the UK. I think Keir Starmer said, if you don't have a digital ID, you can't work. I think there's a big pushback. I saw a huge pushback online. I think a lot of people are upset with the whole digital ID. It just seems like, I think people just don't trust government as much as they used to. Yeah, so it's a bit scary.
We got more information, so we have access to more information. In the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you had your newspaper. I don't know, maybe a little bit of chatter, a little bit of gossip, but that was it. Now everybody has access to real information. I mean,
yeah,
and once people understand how finance works, how government works, and so on, and really see what they're doing, of course you don't trust them like they were trusted in the past. So
yeah,
it's also a time where a big change is coming. It's a timeline.
Yeah.
So I come across this, right? Ipsos are like one of the globally biggest market research companies, at least in the UK. They're absolutely huge. And this come out, they've done research on the notion of like ID cards, and apparently over half of British adults support the introduction of a national identity card scheme. And basically, essentially, this notion. So, there's a good portion that have no opinion, probably because they're informed. There's those that are opposed, and then there's online surveys where 57% have taken it. One thing I will say is with these as well is, I've seen these kind of surveys taken on the service side, and then you as consumers, civilians, as you're walking through and essentially getting approached for these type of surveys, are you really going to do it? Are you going to give your time of day for it? So I always tend to think like these kind of global or national surveys are slightly skewed. But thus far, as Umar mentioned, I'll pull up some stuff online. But when I'm looking through the comments, I can scan 100 comments, and I would say only 2 are pro digital ID. The vast majority are totally against it. Those that are pro are just saying, hey, our driver's license is digital, our health records are digital, our banking is digital. Maybe it's just about connecting it up, right? Maybe it's just those individuals. Maybe their background of a developer, right?
What about if they turn your ID off? Oh, you can't have no more chicken this week.
You don't exist then. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right? That's
control. That's what it is. I don't know too much about the topic, but Hayden, welcome. It's great.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you, Arthur. Thank you for your comments. I've been following it in the car. I took my son back from therapy, and I've been tuning in. I've been listening to you guys chatting, and it's just been a fantastic, stimulating conversation. And I was like, I can't wait to get in there.
Yeah, I'm like,
really interesting.
We love it, Hayden. We love it, Hayden. How's your week been, Hayden? And
it's been very hectic, really exciting things. Been speaking to a few people, a few investors too, and things are interesting. But I just wanted to chip in just a little bit because you were talking about digital, and let's take it in reverse chronological order. So the most recent thing you were talking about is digital ID. Well, I think we kind of give the politicians too much credit sometimes. Like we think they're so smart, kind of trying to take over and control our lives. Whereas in fact, I think this particular thing in the UK right now is a reaction to the far right, mostly Reform Party coming on and talk about immigration. And so the government needs to be seen as doing something to control workforce and control illegal employment, stuff like that. It probably won't make any difference. And to be honest with you, digital IDs exist in many left-leaning countries, even me in Brazil here. Everyone's got a digital ID, and there's nothing the matter with it whatsoever. So I don't know. I don't believe that this is a big state thing. I think this is a reaction to Nigel Farage and that right wing, probably. And then going down the deep end, you were talking about all this, what seemed to be a dystopian future, right? Where AI is going to basically allow people, if they want to, sit at home and vegetate. I agree with that. It's just that I think that this is potentially, I'm a geologist, by the way, Arthur, by trade, but I think that in the future, this is actually a potential divergent point in humanity. I think that there will be those who embrace it, go full in, and actually start to even adapt their own bodies. We see people doing that already, to integrate more and more with this digital world. And then there's going to be the humans who just don't want to do that. And those who want to preserve that essential essence of humanity for itself. So, for example, my kids go to Waldorf schools in Brazil. Waldorf, no technology whatsoever. And Waldorf is kind of famous for creating excellent citizens who are very creative and think outside the box. And it's not actually a coincidence that in Silicon Valley, the sons and daughters of these massive billionaire tech tycoons put their children where? In Waldorf and Montessori schools, where there's very little technology, because they know that the more you lean into that technology, the less creative you get yourself as a human being. And yeah, exactly. And so I think that's fascinating that they know the power of these devices and how addictive they are, and how people becoming more independent. And so I see an increasing disparity in emotional intelligence and even academic intelligence and critical thinking that's going to just get larger and larger as people lean into AI. And those who have the cognitive abilities in the future will be those who use it wisely. Will be those kinds of, not necessarily, don't have to be walled off, but the kinds of people who know how to use this responsibly, and those who just go with the flow and don't question anything. And then there could be a divergent point in the future where seriously people get so polarized that this could be a speciation event. I believe this is possible, where humans actually diverge into two separate species in the future. One complete tech and one not. So this is pretty dystopian stuff, but I don't think it's actually far-fetched. I think it could happen this century or the next.
Yeah, I agree. So a breakaway civilization will happen. Those will, yeah. I agree.
So we got to get our hunting skills on par now. Learn how to make a fire.
I'm all right with that. I think I could do. Yeah, I could do hunting and fire.
Dude, like when I've ever toyed with the idea of camping, I'm like, yo, I want to do some glamping. You know, can I have a proper maybe a caravan? Like, I don't know about a proper camp. So yeah, I'll probably end up diving. I'll see you guys in the Matrix. I'll probably end up.
Very stuck on the other side. With his VR headsets on, playing games, ordering his Uber.
And then Umar's gonna come back, Varun. Red pill, blue pill.
No, that's what it's going to be like. It's definitely. I think that the technology is advancing at crazy pace. Even like from 5 years ago, if you look back 5 years and you look at now, you've got ChatGPT. Like I hear that we spoke about this about everyone writing CVs on AI, and then AI actually selecting the right person, and it's like you're giving AI all this power to select humans and make these important decisions for you as a business or an individual. And it's like, where can we pull the brakes on it, and where can we kind of
what I find crazy, right, is that you see it on LinkedIn quite a bit. It's like this notion where people are like, AI is basically replacing thinking professionals, but is that actually what's happening, or are we just taking the output that AI provides as gospel because it just sounds better, right? Go ahead, Umar.
You know what I was going to say? That's actually a good point, because I've used AI to do a lot of research and do some complicated tasks. It does make a shit ton of mistakes as well. Like, that's the thing. If you don't know what you're doing, and that's kind of going on Hayden's point, is like if you know what you're doing and you use it the right way and you have creativity, then you can use that tool even better. But I feel like if you don't have no creativity, you don't know how to critical think or have these transferable skills, and you'll just brought up on online, these phones that have the attention span goes to 15 seconds or less, 5 seconds, right? You see all the time, even with kids. If you give a kid a iPad or a device, they'll go on the shorts and they'll just be flicking through them, and it's just like a natural reaction, and they're like not satisfied. Even you see I've got kids, and when I do give them a little bit of time to, hey, you know what, just shut your mouth and have the iPad in a nice way, obviously, but you can see like they're clicking on loads of different stuff, and I just hate it. And I'm like, what? We used to have like 5 channels, and we used to just tune into one thing and watch like 60 minutes of EastEnders or whatever it was on, like Coronation Street, or these shows that the whole nation used to watch. I'm not saying that that was good either, but it's just kind of like people don't even read books anymore. They just
yeah, I know. I mean, it's well, very well, both of you, all of you, that the only thing that each of these platforms care about is that you are on that platform, and that you are on that platform for the maximum amount of time possible. So that's why. But and so if I want to put some content onto LinkedIn, I have to make sure I never put a link inside my post. It has to be in the comments.
It doesn't reward you for that.
Exactly. And so we end up we do have to end up reverse engineering our message in order to satisfy the algorithm that some arbitrary person in Silicon Valley has engineered. And so we have to reverse engineer our message, our personality to cater for that algorithm. So already we're kind of slaves to technology in a subtle way. The skillful people are the ones who are very creative and can actually sound like themselves and marry that with the algorithm. And so that requires quite a lot of out-of-the-box thinking, a lot. And in fact, there's been a lot of research done on this, and Microsoft and Apple and even intelligence agencies like CIA in the UK, GCHQ, they actually understand that the most powerful synergies right now are between diverse thinkers and AI. So they actually reverse engineer their job descriptions to, for example, target people who are autistic or dyslexic, because these people literally are unable to think in a normal way. They think almost by definition outside the box. And so that synergy between AI and divergent thinkers is going to be the most powerful thing ever in the future, according to those who know, the trillion-dollar companies almost. And the same thing goes with us, mediocre people on a day-by-day basis. If we want to work with the algorithm, we need to know how it works, and we need to know how to express ourselves, our true selves, through that algorithm. Otherwise, you're going to get everybody sounding exactly the same, which is what everyone's complaining about right now on social media, especially LinkedIn.
That's a good bloody point.
There's some interesting things actually happening out there. So like even just share my screen. So good old Amazon apparently have to pay 2.5 billion to the FTC settlement over deceptive prime tactics. So what this is actually referring to is, we all know it, once you are on a platform and you want to cancel, I don't know what that Timu showed me there.
Those are you like, Varun.
No, Umar.
That's a good point, Varun. Sorry to interrupt here, but I swear to God, Prime has charged me so many times without me knowing. It's just like you signed up to something and before you know it, it's crazy. Sorry, go ahead, Varun.
But the thing is on this topic is, if you want to cancel the subscription for certain platforms, I have
no idea why I can't hear anything.
Oh, sure.
Sean, can you hear us?
I'll drop you down, Sean. Let me know when.
It's that notion of essentially when you go to cancel subscription for certain platforms, they actually purposely make it very, very difficult. Like I've seen it where, if you have two buttons next to each other, right, they will have a primary and a secondary, and usually the primary action. So you're going through a cancellation process. Technically, when you get to the end state where you want to cancel, you would expect the primary to be in a bold and the secondary in a lighter, link type style. And you'd expect the primary to say cancel now. Yes, actually, this isn't. It's the one that's less prominent. I guess, prominent. And then also when you click it, you expect the action to be done. They make the next screen look like a success message, but all it's actually saying is, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Like it's like, dude, I've kind of said I want to cancel 3 times in a row, and you're still asking me, "Are you sure?" And some people, I've had it before where I thought of canceling.
How come it only works with the headset? I have no sound. I don't plug the headset.
No sound?
Like none.
I'll drop you back down, shit.
He's got it.
Sure.
Sean's got a new camera and he's got technical difficulties. He looks really good.
He's got his son there helping. It's all good. Good. But yeah, essentially, Amazon has agreed to pay 2.5 billion. Sorry, that's a big amount to settle a lawsuit with the Federal Trade Commission over allegations that it duped users into paying for Prime subscriptions and made it harder to cancel subscriptions.
That's facts.
Umar, you need to get some money back.
Do you know what? I'm gonna say I've been paying it for this for like 10 years and you owe me a refund. I don't know. Next month's rent's on Amazon.
Yeah, and then they're also talking about, look, me and Umar will be transparent. We are not TikTok users. I don't think Umar, I don't know what's going on there, man. Timu, man. I promise I'm not looking at that stuff. It's so dog. But on that notion, I think TikTok, owned by Chinese company ByteDance, has been at the center of controversy in the US for 4 years now. Obviously, everything that's been kind of happening with them. And as a result, users have often found themselves caught in the middle of this tension. Earlier this year, the app experienced a temporary outage in the US that left millions of users in suspense before it was quickly restored. And I think there's a ton of people that actually make a lot of their money from TikTok. I think TikTok, I could be wrong about this, but I know in their early stage, they basically paid people for views as opposed to Instagram doesn't. But it looks like on Thursday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that approves the sale of TikTok's US operations to an American investor group. The deal valued at about 14 billion. If a deal goes through, the platform's US business could be a valuation of up to 60 billion. So basically, looks like TikTok's coming back to the US and it's going to be owned by the US.
It's to control the algorithm, obviously. I think that's what it is. It is. You realize as well when you're on like, you can be on X and you put one search term in Bitcoin or whatever, and you're just going to get spammed heavily with the same thing over and over again to a point that it's just shaping a narrative. I realized this week it was a bit crazy actually. So obviously Bitcoin's dropped in price. I think it's dropped by like I'm just gonna put you on mute, Sean. You've got some feedback there. Oh, you put it together. But so like I've been looking at Bitcoin and everyone's got the same narrative. It's like it's going to 1 million, it's going to 2 million, 3 million. Even obviously I put a post out there. I was like, yeah, look, it can go to 3 million if if 5% of assets are invested into Bitcoin. But it was just funny how everything was. Everyone's we're going to hold on, we're going to buy more. Then the price is just dumping. It's doing the complete opposite of what the herd mentality was. So it's interesting who's pulling the strings here.
Umar, what's your thoughts on everything that's happening with Bitcoin at the moment?
With Bitcoin, I think it's just a normal. First of all, I think Bitcoin is an interesting concept. Obviously, there's technology behind it, which is it costs money to mine Bitcoin. The utility, it's always been from the start, it's like a digital gold. But the way I look at Bitcoin is like, so when I got into Bitcoin around end of 2012, early 2013, I saw Bitcoin like as a tool that was outside the government's control. That's how I looked at it. I was like, oh, it's a crypto, it's a crypto, but it's nothing to do with the government. But we're headed towards it right now. It's like, all these institutions are, hey, this is the new treasury. We're going to put more money into it. And it's like, it kind of defeats the purpose of Bitcoin in a way. And I'm just like, they're trying to hijack it. You know what I mean? Even though the individual holder, I think retail represents 60% of Bitcoin holding in their wallets, and which is important. But I do feel like eventually it's going to be a institutional gig where they will pretty much own a majority of Bitcoin. So it's just an interesting concept. What do you think?
But Satoshi means intelligence, and Nakamoto means central agency.
No way.
Yeah.
What language?
Look it up in Japanese.
I thought so. I always thought that as well. I always thought, it's too good to be true. It's got to be, some affiliation.
So you don't really know who.
What are you looking for, Varun?
No, I'm just typing like, what does Satoshi mean? It's just bringing up like, not just trying to say not related to blockchain, right? Because
Sean, how are you?
Sean, can you hear us?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you like you're right on our lap.
Well, we'll leave that one alone.
Very clear. You've upgraded the equipment I've seen. Oh my God, look at that.
Listen, I got these freaking mics. I got all this crap. I got lights all over my room. And then my son screws off and I can't hear shit. So I finally find my Xbox things. And I'm sitting there thinking, all right, at least maybe they can hear me. I have no idea. So anyway.
That's good. We were just having a good little chat. We've got Arthur here from the Co-op
Hi,
Network.
Arthur.
This is Sean, one of the regulars. We've got Hayden on, who's also a regular. We were just chatting about Arthur's project and the emergence of AI. Is it going to head towards a dystopian future? Bits and bobs. Hayden, it feels like I know you want to say something. Do you want to say something, Hayden?
No, I'm just gonna. No, I think I've said quite enough about my, predictions of doom. But I'm sure maybe Sean, do you think that AI is going to take over and it's going to become sentient and it's going to turn to Skynet and destroy us all? What do you think about the future?
First of all, I think it's going to be the best thing that ever happened. You're going to get rid of 50% of the lawyers right off the bat. Right. And I also think you're going to finally get cures for cancer that have been suppressed for hundreds of years. There's an awful lot of cures that are on shelves all over the world or in, old CPUs or whatever. And, my daughter's in med school right now. Like, think of the power she's going to have when she's done in 8 years. Like, she's going to be able to say, hey, I've got this patient. This is what they're presenting as. And bang, the top 20 solutions from all over the world translated from 20 different languages are going to give her the solutions. I think you're going to see cures for cancer. I really do.
Yeah. I saw this absolutely insane. It blew my mind. They did this 3D scan of a 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. It's a 1 millimeter cube part of a mouse's brain. Okay. And they sliced it. I can't remember, about 250 times. So each slice was it was like 400th the thick of a human head, each slice. And get this, inside that 1 millimeter cubed bit of brain, there was 4 kilometers of dendrites, of neurons, 4 kilometers in that 1 millimeter cubed, and 500 million connections, right? Now, what they did is they like stacked all these, like this 1 millimeter cube, that's all. They stacked it all together, and it took them months of computational power to do that. And it was all fed into an AI, so the AI could see how these things all connected together and create this absolute mess of, and they see it firing in real time, the reconstruction. Now, even with the AI and its brilliance, it's still not coming close to that level of density and that level of cognition. However, it can learn from it and organize itself based on what it's actually seeing. So I do think that probably within the next 10 years, I would say, that the emergent property, which is consciousness, will appear, because AI can calculate and simulate that level of complexity now. And that is going to be, what's it called again? It's called a singularity, if I'm not mistaken, in human evolution. It's going to be completely different. So all the things that you just said, yes, no more lawyers. Yeah, you can definitely cure cancer. You could probably cure many incurable diseases. So that's all going to be great. But then what do the rest of us do? We just sit on our butts? Or how do we leverage that for the good and to be like, the Star Trek, going to the stars and live peacefully in harmony? Is that going to happen? Or is it going to be the end of us? I don't know.
Hey, I got to ask you a question about that, if you don't mind, because maybe it's changed since I last read this. But is it true that science has never been able to isolate a single thought?
No, not really. So they are able to now. No. I would say they haven't. The reason
it's neat, isn't it? Name your spirituality, but it's really cool. Like, all the stuff we can do, but they've never been able to get a scan to say, hey, that was a thought. Your subconscious is still that powerful.
No, but they have been able to interpret words based on what someone's thinking. So
that's neat.
Someone can think, I want a lemonade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're actually able to pull that out somehow. I don't know how exactly, but they're able to do that. And so yes, thought like apple, pear, banana, they can actually do that. But it does seem that intelligence is not in a location; it is completely distributed.
Yeah,
that's why you can have a major surgery and sometimes take out half the brain and still be a highly functioning person because it is that distributed.
That explains the Liberal voters. but here's a funny one for you. It's I coach football, or I try to coach football, right? And I had a principal one time. She asked me. She said, "Hey, Sean, how are you doing?" And I said, "You know what? I'm blessed." And she said, "I'm not trying to stir you up." She said, "But prove to me God exists." And I said, "Prove to me you dream."
Ah.
Yeah.
So there's something else going on,
That is funny.
Don't get me going with that one. I've had too many debates with Jehovah's Witnesses and all kinds of stuff like that. I don't know if you really want to go there.
I get my God standing in a river, looking at stars, and standing on a beach, being humble and being grateful. There's my belief.
That's what we were literally saying that to Arthur as well. We were saying that earlier on, where Arthur said it really well. Like you got to be basically one with nature. So I got at least 2 hours a day, get out there, keep that emotional intelligence and stay connected.
I think we will see more of this when quantum computers will emerge more.
Yeah.
That because they don't function in a binary system, they function in qubits, and that's something I think comes from the ether, comes from so
it's weird. It's like what Richard Feynman said about quantum physics. If you think you understand quantum physics, you don't understand quantum physics. It's that mysterious, and that doesn't make any sense, even for those who are the highest, like Harvard, MIT, the best in the world, do not fundamentally understand what is going on. And that says a lot. I mean, my kids ask me a question, how do magnets work? If you go to a certain point you can talk about, iron being orientated in a certain direction and all that kind of stuff, and then fields. But very quickly, you don't know what there are no electrons projecting out into space. You don't know what it is. It is a very quantum effect, and we don't understand exactly how magnets work. We just know that they work. And it's true that when you get down to the level of the brain and you get 4 kilometers of neurons in a 1 millimeter cubed area, you're getting quantum effects there. And I think one day we'll get to the point where we do understand that, and we'll get to a point of transcendence where we could potentially be connected or plugged into a higher sense of the universe or whatever. And at that point, we'll reach the top of the mountain and we'll find that the religious people were right all along, that they already had it sorted out. All this meditation, it's all connected. Probably it's going to be like that. But that is just insane for me to think about. That's amazing.
All it tells me is that the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was right about those damn mice.
Oh, that's a great book.
Yeah.
Varun, what happened to your camera? I thought it did like a flip around, and I was like, "Oh my god, we lost him."
No, I think it just freaked out and just did a 360 about 3 times, and now it's currently balancing with the pen. So I'm trying my best not to move right now. So yeah, probably why I'm so rigid. Cool. I guess. I think what I'd love to know is, Sean, what's been going on in the world of mining? Like, Sean and Hayden. I guess, like, both you guys, like, any updates on what's going on in the industry? I think I saw something actually interesting. Bear with me. Let me just flash it up. Just bear with me. So, 2 secs.
Oh, agit stage.
Let me just find the link for this. 2 secs. Yeah, so Trump administration wants 10% stake of Canadian lithium miners that sells to GM. The Trump administration might be fond of calling the energy transition the Green New Scam, but that isn't stopping it from seeking a significant stake in what promises to be the largest lithium mine in Western Hemisphere. In exchange for negotiating the repayment period of $2.26 billion Department of Energy loan, the Trump administration is asking for as much as 10% equity in Lithium Americas, a company that is in which GM is a major investor. Yeah, on this topic, have you guys looked into it? Like, what's going on?
I think it's a bit like I feel like the Trump administration is moving more like the CCP now. They're trying to get equity in a load of companies. It's kind of like the Chinese model where, let's have ownership, government ownership in different companies. You've seen it in mining. You've seen it with IBM. I think they wanted to invest get 15% stake in IBM. I don't know if that happened or not. But it's interesting. Sean, what are your thoughts?
I'm not sure if you follow this or not, and if I'm off base with the dates, I'm sorry, but not so long ago, Mexico nationalized all of their lithium mines.
I remember that.
Which means the government stepped in and stole it from all of the companies.
Wow.
That's how badly they wanted it. That's why so many mining companies in Mexico right now are struggling, because there's just so much uncertainty. Do I think the Mexican government's going to take over all the gold and the silver mines? There's all kinds of rumors on it, but I can't see it happening. They tried it with the lithium, took over all the lithium mines, deposits, everything. She said, I want it all for myself. But then they all of a sudden they realized they didn't have the expertise to actually mine it. So it'd be like me taking over a Taco Bell. I don't know how to make tacos. I'd have a hell of a lot of fun with the stuff that's already cooked, but when I finally ate it all, I'd be screwed.
You've got a fair point. And weren't they trying to do a similar thing with silver, right? But then they realized they can't because of that issue where they don't have that, that label.
Well, I'll share with you something, right? And this is my own opinion. Like, there's lots of people that say, Sean, you're full of crap, right? But the reality of it is, there's certain cultures, and you can hiss at me all you want, but there's certain cultures that they just can't get out of their own way. And there shouldn't be Canadian mining companies in Mexico. There shouldn't be American mining companies in Mexico. Why the hell aren't the Mexican people doing it themselves? But when you've got a culture that's so used to bribes and baloney and silly stuff, they just can't seem to do it themselves, and it's too bad, because they would be one hell of a strong economy.
That makes sense. It makes sense.
I'm gonna push. This is definitely not my area. I've got other mining news, but in my opinion, Trump can, blow hot and cold about climate change or whatever. The science doesn't really change about that. But I think he has a problem right now. And the problem is the US national debt, which is right now 36 trillion. And they're going to pay, I just looked it up, they're going to pay over the next 5 years, 13 trillion just in interest on that debt. And so they're not actually making out the interest payments particularly. They're barely making that. And so he's in great need. The US in general is in great need of financial resources, assets to shore up its national debt, which is why they kind of made a deal with Ukraine to operate their resources. They want to get Greenland. You can call Trump what you want, but at least he's a man of his word. If he says he wants Greenland, he wants Greenland. He said that before he became president. I want Greenland. Now he wants to get Greenland. And in Canada, he wants Canada, but obviously that's not going to happen either. And so I think he's.
I would vote for it.
You would vote for getting Canada.
100%. I wouldn't even think twice.
Okay,
I would vote for the 51st state in a blink. Did you know that 70% of the population of Canada is farther south than Seattle?
Oh, that's great.
Right. So it's,
Right.
They're in the US.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is that to give you an example, a really good example, Sony, for instance, I'm looking at a Sony camera. Sony makes more money in headsets in the US than everything they do in Canada. GM Cars sells more cars in California, Texas, and California, Florida, and Texas than they do in all of Canada combined.
Okay.
Everybody talks about our healthcare or this or that, and you know what? You're right, but it ain't free. The last time I had a real job, I made $10,000 a month. I took home $4,400. That's what it means to be in Canada. So tell me the healthcare is free when I spent $5,600 of it in taxes and baloney, right?
Yeah.
If all of a sudden I needed a hip replacement or something, now I'd be lucky if it got done in 2 years.
Right. So we have the same problem in the UK. I mean,
There you go, right?
The NHS is not free, but we know that it's very
Yeah.
transparent. It's not free. We pay through our taxes. It's just free on the
Yeah.
point of delivery, which means that you don't go bankrupt if you are bleeding out or have a baby.
Yeah.
Which
Well
I think
said, 100%.
I think
Yeah,
it's just
I get
immoral that happens. But the point is, isn't it comparing to Sean? I mean, you know much more about this than me. Isn't that like comparing apples and oranges? I mean, if you compare the population of Canada and the US, Canada's only 40 million. So of course, the productivity isn't going to be as large. But how does that stack up?
Well, here's the best way for me to stack it up. We have, let's say, 40 million people, and I think 12 million of them actually work, and 4 million of that 12 million works for the government.
Oh, wow.
Google it.
Yeah.
Here in Nova Scotia, for instance, in my little province here, 65% of the province gets a government paycheck of some sort. That's including the military and the universities. I'm not playing with numbers, but that's not the scary part. The scary part is, let's say we have one really big business park here. A former premier told me, he said 80% of the entire GDP from that one business park is all sold to government. So not only are we not making anything and everybody works for the government, what looks like a busy business park is selling to the government.
Nova Scotia, if not mistaken, Sean, is one of the poorest provinces of Canada.
We are the number 60 of 60 jurisdictions in North America. We have the worst economy in North America.
Wow.
Is that sentiment of wanting to become the 51st state? Is that part
Yeah,
of
well,
the
no, that's not it. No, it's and listen, this is definitely soapboxing a little bit, all right? It's just at least you hit something on the head. There's a lot of people that'll call me a Trumper, call me this, call me that. I said, you know what? If you took away all the baloney of Orange Man Bad, a lot of the stuff he's doing, it actually isn't all that horrible. One of the things he was trying to do was take taxes off of overtime. I thought that was bloody brilliant. Take taxes off of tips like waitresses, waiters, and all that. He wanted to remove all the taxes. How the hell is that a bad thing? You know what I mean? And we're not even allowed in Canada. Watch, this will get me banned, right? We're not even allowed in Canada to share news on Facebook, for crying out loud. A great big thing pops up and says this is illegal in your country. That's insanity.
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah, it gets even crazier. If I go to the bank right now and I try to take $4,000 out, I have to explain to the bank what I'm going to use it for. I'm not allowed.
That's weird.
If you think that's batshit, there's rumors coming around that they're going to start coming after unrealized gains, and that's really terrifying. So let's say I've got $700,000 equity in my house. So they're toying around in Ottawa. Everybody says, Sean, you're wearing a tinfoil hat. Well, then how come on my taxes this year, I had to write down what my estimated equity was in my house? What the hell does that have to do with my taxes?
Nothing.
So there's a rumor flying around that they're going to now start potentially charging Canadians 2% on the equity of their homes. So on top of my property taxes, all the other baloney, next year I could be paying $14,000 a year just because I own my house.
That's nuts.
Right? Now, can you imagine on a stock market? Let's say I'm up $100,000 on one stock. Can you imagine if I had to sell some of the stock just to pay an unrealized gains tax? So you want to know, it's not that I'm a Trumper. It's I'd like to be able to keep the money that I earn. That's all.
Yeah. That would make, at the very minimum, that would probably cause them to be out of office the next election. I mean, that would be so.
You would think. Now, I got really hissed at on social media over this one. If Trump really, really, really wanted Canada to become the 51st state, I know exactly how he could do it. You know how he could do it? Offer every single Canadian $100,000.
Just buy them out.
They would vote for it so freaking fast. It was funny. It's like I originally said, if they offered so let's say I got 4 people living in my house, right? So if we were all offered $100,000 to vote to be the 51st state, we'd have $400,000 coming in my house. For 90% of Canadians, that's life-changing. How fast do you think they would vote for it? Hey, Trumpy, if you're listening to this, cut me a check, baby. I'll vote for it.
They should have Sean as
life-changing for most people, right?
Yeah. But you got a point there, Sean. Like,
if there's only 40 million people here, somebody do the math on 40 million people times $100,000. It's only $4 trillion. That's peanuts.
Let me go back quick.
And then he gets a whole country.
Okay.
Look at Arthur thinking about it.
Do you want to talk about mining again?
Well, I'll tell you, but the mining part is, if you want to know why Trumpy wants Greenland so bad, everybody will say, oh, no, it's a nice NATO base, and there's no doubt about that. But quite a few years ago, myself and a bunch of people were actually approached by the Denmark government. And I had a chance, myself and my whole team, we were going to get flown to Denmark, right? We were going to get to meet the royal family, all the other stuff. Then we were going to get taken to Greenland, and because they really wanted to get their mining going. Do you want to know why they want to get the mining going? It has the damn near identical geology as Alaska. In other words, they have everything there. Remember me saying this, boys. There's only 3 places left on the planet that are really untouched for mining. You got Antarctica. Nothing's happening down there because it's probably full of UFOs and aliens. The second one is Mongolia, which is just starting to crank out now. My biggest win ever was Erdene Resource Development. That sucker's going to the moon. And the third one is Greenland. Guys, there's nothing left. So if you want to know why he picked Greenland, there's only 3, and he sure as hell doesn't want Mongolia.
China would get Mongolia.
There's nothing left.
No.
There's Greenland.
Arthur, what are your thoughts? I think you were going to say something earlier, like around this conversation. What are your thoughts?
I mean, on the surface of the earth, there's nothing left. Indeed, Sean is right. But what about the oceans? What about the?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah,
they're doing ocean mining in Japan, I think it was.
Here's something really cool. I was invested in this company years ago. I think it was called Nautilus. If I have it wrong, I'm sorry. But you know those undersea chimneys that you see? Do you know those are damn near solid metal?
Yeah.
So like you could go down, cut them off, punk. It falls over like a cannon. There's no overburden. There's no anything. It's solid metal. Isn't that cool?
What are they called?
Those undersea chimneys. Yeah, Caden will explain it better.
They're called smokers, and they occur at the ocean ridges at the beginning, the middle of the ocean, going down the Atlantic Ocean. It's actually the largest unbroken mountain chain in the world that you can never see because it's in the middle of the ocean, the Middle Atlantic Ridge. And it doesn't only go there, it goes all the way around into the Indian Ocean, into the Pacific Ocean. So this is what we call a divergent plate boundary. So it's where Earth is being created and it's spreading apart. And so you get hot convection currents from the Earth's lower mantle core coming up and creating new Earth and spreading. And that's why North America and Europe and Africa are spreading apart about the same speed as our fingernails grow. That's why it's happening. And you get these smokers, which Sean correctly said is metallic. They are metallic in nature. They happen to be, unfortunately, home to some of the most diverse ecosystems in the world, completely deprived of sunlight. So, that's why NASA is so interested in these places, because this is proof that you don't need sunlight at all to have incredibly rich biodiversity. But we can get into deep sea mining if you like. I mean, it's one of my interests because there you go. There they are. Smoke it right there.
Wow.
Hydrothermal vents.
Wow.
Exactly. My PhD area is oceanography in the geological record and biogeochemistry. So I can speak quite a lot about the ocean floor and why it's important to us up here on the land.
I'd love to, and break it down to me like I'm in first grade, please.
So once upon a time, Varun, a bit of mud on the floor. Okay. Well, maybe not first grade. I tell you what. Okay, so the majority of the ocean floor is also on average about 4 kilometers deep, and it's what we call the abyssal plain. I don't know if you watched the film The Abyss, but it's really classic film. That wasn't the abyssal plain. It was just a name, Abyss. But it's basically mud, which is built up over thousands, millions of years because of what we call marine snow. So it's life falling down, mostly microscopic life falling down, organic material. Most of it is kind of like dissolved inside the water as it falls, goes circulate back at the nutrients. But a proportion of that sinks down and it's just lands on the floor and is buried, buried under sometimes kilometers of sediment. And we can actually drill that sediment and actually see how the climate's changed, temperatures have changed with geochemistry. It's really cool. Now, inside that sediment, you have loads of stuff. You have carbon, you have phosphorus, you have nitrogen, and it's all stored there. And so any disturbance to that environment, you have to be careful. That's all I'm saying. It's quite unknown. They say that we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the bottom of the ocean. It's true. It really is true.
Wow.
And so what I've seen is that, and it was my PhD, and I looked at the bottom of the ocean as it was 96 million years ago. You can see that when you disturb the bottom of the ocean, when you take away the oxygen, or if you increase the oxygen, this causes huge changes. So, for example, in the Cretaceous period, when oxygen was taken away and the sediment was disturbed, the phosphorus, which is a nutrient, right? It gives life. It causes life to go crazy. If you pump phosphorus, give phosphorus to your plants, you know what happens, right? So at the same time, the phosphorus is locked in the sediment. You take away the oxygen, the phosphorus cannot actually stay in there anymore because it's locked to these oxides. You take away the oxygen, the oxides dissolve, and the phosphorus is liberated from the sediment. And it goes it flushes into the water column, and it actually can go right to the top of the water column and stimulate productivity. It can actually stimulate photosynthesizers to go crazy. And so, and that can actually cause more sediment to fall down, more organic matter to fall down, and that can suck out more oxygen because it's the bacteria in the sediment that actually eat the organic matter, and they use oxygen in the water to do that. They actually respire just like we do. So the more productivity you have, the more oxygen is sucked out of the ocean, and it can cause the oxygen to go what we call anoxic. There's no oxygen on the seafloor. And so if you go to the Gulf of Mexico, for example, just off the coast of Mississippi, it's what we call a dead zone. There's no life there. Thousands of kilometers, there's no life because there's no oxygen. It's just gone. And this is happening in other parts of the world too, where we throw out nutrients into the water. The biological pump goes crazy. More organic matter gets produced, sucks out oxygen because of bacteria. 1 teaspoon of bacteria has about 1 billion bacteria, 1 billion, and they're all sucking out oxygen. So all this is to say is that when we start messing around on the sea floor and taking out, for example, in this case, concretions, which is what we're talking about here in deep sea mining, and the concretions have been shown to actually produce oxygen. They're actually a source of called dark oxygen. We just have to be careful. And because we know more about the moon than we do about the bottom of the ocean, we want to be responsible. We better be damn sure we know what we're doing, because the ocean is incredibly sensitive. And what we do down there has a direct impact on the gases, not just in the ocean, but also in the atmosphere. It's a two-way system. It's a partial pressure gradient. If there's carbon dioxide in the ocean more than the atmosphere, you simply get the ocean becoming a source of carbon dioxide too. So whatever we do on the seafloor affects the atmosphere too. So it's a complicated system. This isn't exactly first grade level. Then, Varun, they live happily ever after.
The thing is, what scares me about this is that history's shown us that us humans are not very sensitive, and we tend to go head first into situations, right? Especially if there's a large commercial value. And if you're telling me there's only 3 places left on the surface of the earth to mine, once those are mined, or at least 2 out of the 3, they are gonna do a deep sea mining, right? It's just inevitably going to happen, and they're probably doing it already now. If we're throwing however many tons of plastic into the oceans and fossil fuels out into atmosphere, we've kind of shown that we're not going to be taking a responsible approach to it. But it's kind of scary. I didn't realize it's actually that sensitive. I actually thought, oh, that's pretty cool. It's untouched. Oh, there's probably loads of cool shit down there. Chuck me in a submarine, myself, Sean and Umar. But now it's just like, oh, okay. I didn't realize it impacts that much.
But Mother Nature, we got to give her a little bit of credit. Like I heard a comedian one day say, we got to stop screwing with Mother Nature. Like he came out and he said, look at this beautiful oceanfront property. Mother Nature says, what oceanfront property? All I see is a beach.
Yeah.
I got to say this, though, Hayden. When Varun said, can you explain this to me like a 5-year-old? Your kids must be brilliant.
That was a great explanation, though. Honestly, I loved it.
I loved it.
I haven't practiced for a while, to be honest with you. I'm talking about mining for such a long time. We're talking about phosphorus regeneration from bottom water sediments. This is not something. This is PhD coming back to me, but it's hard. It's I just think it's fascinating. So it is sensitive, and there are tipping points, and you actually see those tipping points in the geological record, very well expressed. It's not even controversial. So when you get scientists standing up and say, there's a tipping point here, there's a feedback loop over here, it's true. These exist, and we have very, very good evidence of these in the geological record.
The thing is, what I got to appreciate is the way that you've kind of look, whoever the 12 people that we got on this live, and us 4, we're way more informed now, right? So let's help shift our perspective, right? But at the same time, I think that's not the narrative that's going out there at the moment, right? That's just something I'm just conscious of.
Well, that's the thing. So I get pissed off about these kinds of things a little bit, in my own British pissed off way. And that is, I see a lot of
pissed off right now, Sean.
This is him pissed.
This is
I'll give you an example. So the bottom of the ocean is about as far removed from our horizon as we can imagine. Yeah, we say out of sight, out of mind. It's why we can mentally block ourselves off from what's happening in Gaza right now. Okay, but this is happening. We can see this on our TVs. Imagine the bottom of the ocean. How on earth are we supposed to comprehend something like that? It's not possible. But I see industries, mining and oil and gas, who are now energy, who keep coming out with the same kind of talking points, which are half truths. Yeah. The problem is it's not actually, they actually tell the truth, but it's actually, that's not the point. They do something way worse than lie. They actually distort, because an untruth can be unmasked, it can be recovered, it can be exposed, but a manipulation that requires nuance to explain, and nuance that the public often don't have the time to receive because they just swipe up. So let's take an example. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they were talking. It was an energy podcast, and they were talking about CO2. Okay, oil and gas. It was not surprising that the oil and gas was like, and they were saying the same talking points they've been saying for the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. There's something wrong with CO2. life on Earth without CO2 would be impossible. It's a natural greenhouse gas. All of that is true. Okay, no problem with that whatsoever. And then they say, and if you put more CO2 into the atmosphere, all that does is it gives you bigger trees. What's the matter with that? Now, stop right. This gets me pissed off because CO2 is not a limiting nutrient. It is not. You can pump as much CO2 at a tree as you want. It won't grow any faster because what limits the tree is phosphorus and nitrogen. So if you do load it with phosphorus and nitrogen artificially, and then you put CO2, it will grow more. The only way you can get plants to grow higher or taller or faster in increased CO2 is if you're in a greenhouse and you shove loads of nutrients, because they are the limiting factors. CO2 is in excess in the atmosphere. It won't make any difference. But you still get this recycling of misinformation and half-truths, both from mining and the energy sector, which geochemically and biochemically are just not correct. There's not even any controversy about it. And so that's one of the things which kind of gets me a little bit annoyed sometimes as a geoscientist. And you can probably see that I get annoyed about it. Same thing, climate change. I see this all the time. The Earth is much warmer. Sorry, it's much colder now than it was in the Cretaceous. That's actually relatively an ice house compared to the past. Where's this greenhouse effect? Yeah. Tree ring data in England suggests that we're actually getting colder, whereas the mercury's going up, and the scientists are hiding the decline. All of these things are easily explained, but the public don't have the time or the patience to understand it. It requires somebody with skill, a scientist who has training in how to communicate, to actually help the public understand the truth. But it's hard. It's hard in this age of really intense information overload.
Do you know what we need more than anything? We need billionaire scientists that don't need funding.
Yeah.
I'm game.
Because I've yet to meet a scientist that didn't have to do what the funders wanted them to find. Now, I'm not being mean. I love you, Hayden. I really do. I get such a kick out of what you say. You've got that accent that you could be explaining scrambled eggs and it sounds brilliant. You know, I mean it in the highest respect. Like you're a really cool dude. Here's something that I think you'll get a real kick out of. I was on a plane a million years ago. I'm talking the late 80s. And there was a really old oil and gas guy sitting beside me. And I just happened to ask him, I said, if you don't mind me asking, how the hell did you ever find the oil in the Gulf of Mexico in the 50s? You know what his answer was? Shrimp. He said where we had big concentrations of shrimp is where we drilled, because they eat the petroleum or something seeping out of the ocean floor. I meant that. I know. I didn't mean to bust your balls. I really, really like you, Hayden. I get such a kick out of you. And I'm going to write that recommendation, and this is even adding to it. Right? I'm excited to do it.
Sean, I love seafood, and now you just ruined it for me. Are you telling me that shrimp eat petroleum?
100%. Here at the Bedford Institute of Oceanography, not even 5 kilometers from my house, they have humongous fish tanks, I kid you not, where they'll do oil slicks in it. Like they fake oil spills, and the oil floats down to the bottom. And Hayden will explain this way better than me, but I do know that they eat it. That's how the Horizon disaster, or whatever, washed all up on shore. 10 years later, it's all gone. It was the shrimp and Mother Nature doing whatever she does, but a lot of it was shrimp.
Now, the next time I go Pelican Bay to get some shrimp, I'm going to ask for premium unleaded next time. That's crazy. That's crazy. Guys, like one topic I'd like to pivot slightly towards, and we're talking about. I think it's something that we touched upon last week. Sean, I sent you a couple of videos. Me, you, and Umar have been chatting about it as well in our own private dark channels. And then Arthur's a real expert in the space, and I think it's on the notion of real world assets. It's something that I think Umar has mentioned earlier. Like we've really started to take a step back, and we started to see a lot more conversations on the topic of real world assets. I'd love to start kind of just chatting about that. And when I say real world assets, I'm talking about the notion of putting something like off-chain. They say, if we look at Web3, on-chain, off-chain, off-chain assets such as treasuries, funds, real estate, commodities, even art, into a programmable, on-chain token, which has rules and ownerships, and that is enforced by essentially smart contracts. So that's the notion of it. We've kind of been speaking it when we've discussed it in the context of mining. We've referred to deposits are in the ground, right? In terms of potentially tokenizing that. But yeah, I'd love to kind of open it up on the floor to everybody. In the topic of like diving into RWAs, does anybody have any thoughts around it? What's happening? Notion of stable coins. Umar, we've been chatting to hedge funds have ETFs, and they're talking about tokenizing that. So yeah, I'd love to kind of pivot to
Arthur. Arthur, what are your thoughts? You're the expert here.
Today or yesterday, Trump said our tokenized assets are the future. So he just posted it on X, I think. For sure, everybody's gonna tokenize all the assets they can tokenize because it's simpler to trade them. Trading will come at 24/7, yeah, it's a way to simplify things. The SEC just today, I think, they said they will simplify the procedure for tokenizing real world assets. You have a lot of legal things to clear before you are allowed to launch a token if you're a company and want to launch a real world asset token. But they want to simplify it, and they said that they're going to simplify it so it will be much easier to launch tokens if you have a mining company, for example. If you have proof there is something in the ground, you can tokenize it and offer it. The BlackRock has the I think the biggest tokenized securities exchange. BlackRock is the largest asset manager on the planet, and they have a exchange for tokenized securities. So if they do it, that means we're going into that direction. It's simple to tokenize. It's simple to tokenize it. It's harder to be legally compliant because you need proof that it really exists, and then through an article you bring it on chain. So, but it's not that hard to do.
I can imagine how it's not hard to do, but as you just referred to, Arthur, it's the trust issue. I mean, the implementation of it, the actual how can you? I'm not from this area at all, so I'd be fascinated to know if you three, especially Umar, Varun, and Arthur, have given it some thought. Like, how could this practically be implemented across jurisdictions? In a way which gives it real teeth and legitimacy. Is that possible?
It all comes down it comes down to the integrity of the owner or the founder of that, let's say, that mining company. If he produces documents that he has such and such amount of ore in a place, and those are fake, then
doesn't work.
Then it's fake.
Unfortunately, the mining industry has some issues in that area, historical issues. So I can imagine that there would be another BRIEX issue coming down the line. It would be also it has to be some kind of independent verification process of like what's in the grounds, what assets they have, in order for it to actually work, I can imagine it getting very complicated very quickly.
Thing is, Hayden, it's also like whether it's ores in the ground, whether it's artwork, whether it's real estate, right? There has to be a verification process that there is something to even tokenize. And I guess, Arthur, like you're probably you're definitely way more experienced in this, but like, is there ways to even tokenize something that isn't really there? And I know,
well, that you supposed is there. So you make geological surveys, and you estimate that I don't know, you have 1,000 tons of gold in a mountain. Yes, you I mean, it is possible to estimate, isn't it, Hayden? You can estimate a certain.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not from the mining industry. You can definitely estimate it based on cores,
right,
and AI extrapolation. But then we're going at the deep end. You could tweak it. Nowadays, you're getting these AI-assisted estimates of ore body volume.
Yeah.
Is it legitimate to tokenize that? You could mess around with the AI model to overestimate a little bit. It's a can of worms there. That's going to be very complicated.
I tell most of my geology friends that it's mostly drinking and guessing.
Yeah. It is. It's what we call it. We say in English geology, broad arm waving. That's what we say. Seriously, it's hard.
Around there.
Around there.
Yeah.
So we talk about assets. Assets. It has to be something. For me, it has to be something quite tangible. Whether it's like, your infrastructure, for example, what you actually have on the mine site, what you have, the proven reserves. What you've taken out of the ground and holding in stock and holding in store, for example, that kind of stuff. It would be easier, for example, to quantify the monetary value of the tailings that you have. So if you produce tailings, there's a lot of work now about mining the tailings, because there's a lot of stuff which is usable now that wasn't in the past. It'd be easier to do work on that, tokenize that instead.
I actually worked on a tailings project for 6 years.
Yeah.
That we went back into an old tailings pile, and you're going to find this kind of funny, Hayden. You know how a heap leach works. Do you guys know how a heap leach works, Varun and Umar?
Don't know what a heap leach is, and I was going to ask you, what are tailings?
Okay. Hayden will explain tailings. I'll do the heap leach.
Okay. Tailings is just the rejects. Yeah. So you've got an ore body. It might be a vein, extensive vein. Then you've got to blast the whole, side off the hill, for example. And you could say like 90 to 98% of the rock is not what you're looking for, but it's just coming away. And so the rest that you don't use, that goes to tailings. That's the rejects that you don't need afterwards. So a British example, down in Cornwall, you have the Eden Project, and you have around the St. Austell area, you have those big cones. Those are the tailings cones of the China clay works down in the past. So yeah, it's just the rejects. Now you explain the other stuff.
The heap leach is really neat, guys. So you smash up the rocks, blah 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 blah. You get it, all right. So you do the mining, you smash up the rocks, and then you take a field and you actually lay a rubber bladder all the way across the field, and it's got a slight incline to it. Stack up all the rocks, and then you pour a sodium cyanide solution down the top. It has to be rocks, because you can't. If you remember when you were a kid and you saw a sandbox, if it rained, you either got pooling or you got channeling, right? So you want the mixture to be able to just percolate through. Don't ask me how the hell this works. Hayden's going to make this make sense.
Yeah.
But when that sodium cyanide solution drips through the rocks, it somehow sucks all the gold and the silver right out of the rocks like a kitchen sponge. That floats down to a little channel that goes down to the pregnant pond, and then they've got different processes to take the gold and the silver out of that clear liquid. It's really, really fascinating. So the tailings project I was talking about, we had discovered a big pile of sand somewhere 60 meters tall, size of like 25, 30 football pitches. But the problem is you can't pile up sand, because the heap leach stuff wouldn't go through it. So Hayden, you'd get a kick out of this. We actually had to glue the rocks back together. We had to mix it with cement. So we had piles and piles of sand. We actually had to glue them all back together to make little balls so that the cyanide solution would drip through them, because that doesn't happen with the sand. I worked on that for a little over almost 6 years, gluing rocks back together. Spent a career blowing them up, and then 5 years gluing them back together.
Yeah.
But is it like economically viable? I mean, is it?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. That was literally what the whole foundation of the company was, is that they were finding 200-year-old mines, 100-year-old mines, so they just didn't have the technology to get as much of the gold and silver out as we can today. And maybe 200 years from now, somebody will go back to the company I worked with and do it all over again, because they know how to do it even better. It's a damn good question. Now, but there's some neat stuff. Like, one of the coolest things I saw in Mexico, and I'd love to know who the hell figured this out, was that I remember they had a donkey grinding up the rocks, got it all down to a powder, and then they put it on this huge table in the middle of the town that was about yay deep. It had, a liner on the inside of it, and that whole thing was full of mercury. Number one, I don't know where the hell they got the mercury, but the whole thing was full of mercury. All of the town's kids, I'm talking 5-year-olds, were doing this in the mercury.
Wow.
Right? And it would make these little asteroid-looking things, these little globs of stuff. And the kids would pass those to the older Mexican. The older Mexican with tongs, like the dad or something, would take an acetylene torch and burn the freaking mercury off. And what would be left was the little doré of the silver and the gold. I kid you not.
That's adorable.
That's definitely a mine that shouldn't get tokenized.
I don't understand the token thing, guys. I really wish you guys could explain that to me. You're talking about that you could take an asset and turn it into a Bitcoin. Is that what you're thinking?
Not into a Bitcoin, into
a token. I get it.
A digital representation of that asset. So
okay. Yeah, I'd say that's the future. I'd say that's coming.
Yeah, it's
like they tokenized gold. One ounce of gold is tokenized, and it is on the blockchain. But I haven't seen yet the physical reserve.
Right.
I mean, they come up with some audit.
What's funny is that if you took like the ETFs, all the other stuff, right, but the paper gold, let's say, the paper gold that's out there, supposedly there's so much more paper gold than we've even discovered in real gold.
10 times
yeah, that's what I thought. Somebody told me it would be the next 11 years of production on top of all the gold we've ever found ever, to be able to, if all the people cashed it in for the physical. It doesn't exist. So why not do the tokenization thing? We're already doing it in a way.
So Liam said risk appetite, less strong data equals bigger discounts on token value, solid data, lower discounts on tokens similar to shares in pre-IPO and IPO. That makes sense. I think that's what it is, right? We've got all these tons of 43101s and all this data that, these mining companies produce. And it's kind of like, if the data is really good and there's definitely something in the ground, it's almost close to a reserve in the ground, then, where else is the safest place for, to hold gold? It's in the ground, right? No one's going to go there and shovel it out in a mountain somewhere. So I think that kind of concept of, tokenizing in-ground assets, but it also has a liquidity event on the other side where, people are buying these tokens, and those tokens are, that revenue generated from the tokens going back to the mining company, and then they can pull it out, and then, everyone makes some money off it, I guess.
Can you imagine if you made the tokens to a gold standard? The tokens would be they'd be unbelievably valuable.
Yeah.
They did already, yes.
I think Liam's point is like, this would really help explorers and juniors who are just getting going. So they'd offer a discounted token values. If they don't have such proven, much certainty, then the tokens would just be worth less. Is that right?
Yeah, that's bang on, Hayden.
Now, before I forget, and this is, I'm sure, Hayden, this isn't very green, but I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but only 1 in 10,000 properties ever become a mine. That's the number, 1 in 10,000. So like when I have people, bug me about mining and whatever else, I've said this to a few people. I'm convinced, and Hayden will probably tell me otherwise, right? But I'm fine with that, right? But I'm convinced that you could give every man, woman, and child on Earth a dirty diesel car, and it's never going to come anywhere close to what we're about to do to electrify the planet. Because we're already 10,000 copper mines alone, less than what we need, and you need 10,000 more projects before you get a mineable deposit. We're going to be drilling this earth like an acupuncture clinic.
Well, Sean, I think we've just hit the nail on the head, 100%. I mean, this comes down to the crux of it. Like, what do we want? Do we want to give an EV to every human on the planet? No, it's just not. It's just not physically possible, and it's not ethical, and it would probably require the resources of about 10 planet Earths. So it's not going to happen, right? It just seriously, it can't happen. We can't even wish it to happen. It just won't happen. So, we have to rethink. Now, I'm not going to go into this too much, but there is something to be said for just consuming a little bit less. I'm just saying that. If we want to grow as a species, this is going up the deep end again, I appreciate this, but if you look at our population growth curve, we are expressing ourselves as a typical species which is about to go extinct. If we look at the geological record and we look at how populations just take off, they come crashing down again very shortly afterwards. So we're in that exponential growth curve right now, but we're different to other species in the past because we can actually see the future and we can see and map out what could potentially happen. The one way that we can definitely stop it from happening is actually consuming a bit less and being kind of like what we hope to be adults and responsible people. That means, not taking every single bit of copper out of the ground that we can find just because we need that for electrification or EVs. There's nowhere near enough lithium to do what we need to do. And I think those in higher up in power know that very well, but they do run corporations and they do necessarily have a myopic eye on the stock price. And so we are kind of charging forward in this, but we do need to kind of stop and think, okay, as humans, what do we actually want?
Nice.
I just wish shit would last longer than 5 years.
Like it once did.
Once did.
We talk about consume. Like a washer and dryer, you're lucky to get 5 years out of it. A fridge, you're lucky to get 5 years out of it. It's true. And I'm at, this is going to sound silly, and tinfoil hat's going back on, right? My dad has a small apartment building, all right? And when he first got it, I replaced all the appliances in the whole building. I look like Sean the appliance guy, right? How the hell did they all die within 3 months of each other? 5 years.
Yeah, it's actually called, right? It's called
There's a bloody clock in them.
Yeah, it's called like it's like I think it's called built-in redundancy. I think it's a thing, right?
It's researched and it's exactly built in. Yes.
Yeah. Sean, you got to remember, like they've just launched the new iPhone 17. Me and Umar were just chatting about it, and they already have announced the iPhone 18 and when it's going to come out next year. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, Umar, like quite a few people, your brother included, shout out Ibra, I think he updated his iPhone to the latest iOS, and his phone is fudged so bad that he's had to. I don't know. I haven't heard from him the last week, so I'm assuming it's still fudged. But I think that's baked in. That's part of the process, right? As soon as your phone packs up, what are you going to do? Are you going to go Samsung? You're going to probably buy the next model or the same model, right? That's completely baked in, and it's going to continue being baked in, whether it's vehicles, whether it's TV. Yeah, exactly. It's going to carry on going, and I don't see it slowing down. I appreciate what Hayden's saying in terms of I think it's the right thing to do, to stop, to pause, to think, to consume less. But we're in the convenience era and the indulgence era, right? I think it's just going to probably get more and more worse.
Yeah. Downer.
Yeah, I'm right.
Now, Sean, tell us a funny story to get less of a downer. Well, actually, you know what? I probably made Sean's. Me and Umar made Sean's week. Aside from our Halo-inspired graphic that we've done.
Oh, you should show the lion picture. My freaking wife is getting that framed for above our fireplace, thanks
That's
to you
amazing.
buggers.
Let me see if I can find it. So,
Oh,
it's
man. I
You look like
didn't
an
think
absolute
she'd find it
gangster.
that funny. Now it's going to be above my damn fireplace.
You never forget us now.
No.
It's such a funny picture. Arthur, how are things in Romania, like around mining? Is it like, I know there was a lot of logging going.
Mining is dead in Romania. They closed all the mines. They're doing salt mining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Salt, normal salt, yeah. But
not much going on. Is it environmental or push? Is it not much?
It's the EU.
Okay.
They control everything. They shut them. They open them.
Did you guys see Sarkozy's going to jail?
Yeah.
Is he going to jail?
Sarkozy? Really?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
What for? Corruption.
Campaign
Corruption.
finance irregulations. Doing a deal with Gaddafi when he was still
I've got a picture with him.
Oh, wow.
I met.
No way.
Sure.
I was shocked. I said, my buddy Sarkozy's going to
There you go,
jail.
got the full screened
I
up.
can't believe it. What
When
the
and
hell
how
are the
did you
chances
meet
of
him,
that?
Sean?
I met
When
him
and how
at.
did you meet him?
He was at Fox Harbor Resort in Nova Scotia. It's a big golf resort, and one year that I was there for an event, Sarkozy was there, and to be honest with you, I loved the guy. I really did. His English wasn't that great, better than my French, but I just loved him. And somebody asked him a question. This is quite a few years ago now. Obviously, I was a younger guy. He was a younger guy, right? But somebody asked him a question about the euro. And they said, do you think the euro, should survive? And I thought his answer was brilliant, just brilliant. He said, World War I, World War II, that was not Al-Qaeda. That was not the Taliban. It was us. It was brothers, fighting brothers. And he said, if we don't have something to tie us together, he said, we'll do it again. You might disagree with every other thing the guy ever said, but I thought that was really damn smart.
Yeah.
That's true, though. If you look at World War I and II.
And he had the hottest women with him. I'm serious. It was unbelievable. I said, who the hell is that guy? Right? Because, the Fox Harbor has its own airstrip, and this, private jet flies in. This guy jumps out, and he's got like supermodels on both sides of him. And they said, that's Nicolas Sarkozy. I said, you got to be kidding. I got to get a picture with him. And I did.
That's where the money went. That's where the money went. That's what I did for 5 years right now. That's the lesson there.
If you had seen those girls, it was worth it. Yeah. He's probably looking forward to the 5-year break.
Oh my God.
He'll save some money for 5 years. No more popping aspirins and Viagra's.
I say, we asked you to make us feel better, and you did.
Oh, look, here he is. Here he
There
is.
you go.
It's Sean.
Oh, God.
Here he is, guys.
So we were asking Sean to just send, I got inundated with about 24 selfies and really great photos of Sean. And then we ended up trading a couple of AI models to create.
They put me together, Arthur. He said we need it for an
You've got a
ad.
cigar hanging off your
finger. Yeah. I need to sort
The
that out
finger
with
is
a bit of
terrible,
Photoshop.
man. How the hell am I going to type with that cigar?
That's what it is, right? That's what it is.
That's hilarious. That's too
So
funny.
funny.
Actually,
Anyway, guys, 2 hours, man. I got to get back to work.
I'll go for it.
Yep.
Anytime.
That's fine. Thank you very much, Sean, for joining us.
Always a pleasure. All right, guys, have a great one. Arthur, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Sean. Yeah.
If these guys give you my contact info, any way that I can help you, my LinkedIn gets millions of hits a year. Like last year, I was 25 million. So if you've got something you want shared, it's I'm with you. Okay, guys.
For sure.
And Hayden, I'll get on our project as well. All right. Take care. God bless. Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bye, Sean.
Nice.
Oh,
Arthur, it's pretty. Sorry, go on, Hayden.
Sorry, here we go. No, it's I don't know. I wanted to take it back to mining, but if you have something else to say, I'll go for it.
No. Just no. That's all good. Go for it.
Okay, I don't know if you saw this. You know, we're going back just the boring old mining. I think it's going to be so much more boring after Sean leaves. I don't know if I can actually follow up on what he just did there. But
yeah,
it was, let me just try and pull it up. Here we go. Check this out.
Sure.
Can you see this?
Yeah,
okay.
I like stage.
All right. So this was Cornwall County Council. They've recently blocked a geothermal power plant, which is a bit of a shame because it's geothermal, it's maybe green and all that kind of stuff. But the reason I just wanted to bring it up is because I think it just really exemplifies the issue right now with the mining industry. Actually, it's a complete parallel situation here. Whereas basically the application was submitted by the firm, which is a Cornish firm, and it was rejected. It was like fierce opposition from local residents, parish council, Liberal Democrat MP, and the firm said that there was no risk of pollution, that any impact on the environment was mitigated, and it was meant to provide power for like 50 years, would have powered 11,000 homes. Local residents condemned the proposal as reckless, harm to the River Camel, blah, 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 960. And then what happens is the community engagement officer for this company just dismissed everybody as NIMBYs, right? It's just NIMBYism. Said misinformation has distorted the public, right? And this is just, I see this like all of the time in the mining industry. And it really kind of annoys me because what they basically do is like anytime somebody is worried, they never actually talk about what people are worried about. They don't. What they do is they say, "Oh, you're just a NIMBY," and that's what they do. And the conversation ends. And that, I think, that for me, that crystallizes one of the biggest problems that the mining industry faces. They don't actually legitimately engage with the local communities. And we came back to this time and time again, right? I showed that graphic a few weeks ago. Like 75% of overruns and abandonment come from a lack of communication and community engagement, stuff like that. I just wanted to like bring that because this was like came onto my radar today, so it happened last week apparently in the UK, and it happens all over the world. So I just wanted to share that piece of news, basically.
That's a crazy bit of news. It just seems, but it does seem like you know. Is it a lot of like? Do you think it's just environmental concerns, or is it just like they've obviously said it, everything's fine? Is it what do you think's like the big play here?
For who? For local people or the company?
The company.
Well, when you say their big play, you mean what do you think they should do about it, or what do you think they're getting wrong?
What are they getting wrong?
Oh, they're getting wrong is that they sound arrogant. So if you've got almost 1,000 worried local residents, and then the company, and remember, it's a company here, and therefore there is a real or perceived power asymmetry between the company, who's either the public think they're rich and powerful, and the local community or the little people. So already that power asymmetry is a bit of a trigger for the local population. So they come with like legitimate concerns. And instead of actually talking about the concerns, they just say, "No, don't worry, trust us. We know it's not going to happen. Your concerns are not valid." And then if the people say, "No, we can't just take your word for it, God, you're a company, for Christ's sake," you would say that, wouldn't you? And then the company says, "Oh, you're just NIMBYs." Well, immediately the conversation stops. and there's zero trust. The trust that was there potentially in embryonic form is exploded, it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Because of the arrogance.
This toxicity, and it becomes across as arrogant. It is arrogant, to be honest with you. It's completely arrogant. But this is repeated, this mistake, rinse, recycle, repeat, all over the world. And I think it's one of the biggest obstacles of mining operations and their value.
No, you put that well, and that leads me on to Arthur. Like, you're doing the cooperative network. How would you deal with such projects? You're looking to onboard businesses and expand to your network in a decentralized way. Like,
it's before you get arrogant, try to educate the community which could be affected by what you have in plan. So make community halls once a week, maybe twice a week, and you try to talk it out. I know corporations are arrogant. They have lawyers, they have a lot of money, and they don't really let's say give a shit.
Yeah, they don't really give a shit.
They want profit. That's why a corporation exists.
They don't give a shit, and then they cry when their project gets blocked by local government. Well, what do you think was going to happen if you piss off everybody? I mean, that's what happened. Right. And then they give a shit, but then it's too late because they've already lost that trust.
Hayden,
I thought they were meant to be intelligent people. I don't understand.
But Hayden, on this topic, like, how even the notion of like monetary gain, like, have they alluded to like instances where, and I don't know if it's even possible, where the community gets kind of paid out in essence for the disturbance or what is going to happen? Like, are those instances of that? And I'd love to know a little bit more around, okay, look, there's something here. There's the notion of it actually harming the community or disturbing the community, but basically, is the community compensated? Like, that overcoming that, what does that usually look like, aside from being transparent, bringing them on the journey, trying to minimize disruption? Do they just get paid out as well?
Yeah. I mean, Arthur can come in on this, but in my experience and looking at the case studies, this rarely happens unless it is a very impoverished First Nations community, for example, who literally living on the edge, and then they wouldn't ever use that expression "bought out." They're too proud for that. Most people, in fact, every human being on the planet has an innate sense of fairness. Okay, what's fair? And so you could get 1,000 people, and you might get 400, for example, who are a bit selfish and say, "Okay, pay me out. Okay, I'll take it." But then the rest of them, I mean, even if it's only 10 or 20 of them, who would say, "No, damn it, it's the right thing to do. I am not taking your dirty money." All right. And those people, you could just get one, but it's normally about 20 or 30 out of 1,000 who will just make your life hell. And so the idea of being bought out, it doesn't really make any sense. Very, very rarely. The only true way to get social license is to acquire the social license through listening. That's what Arthur just said. Weekly sessions, bi-weekly sessions, having a drop-in clinic. But then again, mining companies still didn't do that very well. They let them talk, and then instead of empathizing and reflecting back and using strategic empathy to actually build bridges, they will defend themselves. They'll get defensive and say, "I know you think that, but in reality, it's not like that, and this, that, and the other." And they'll use facts and figures. They won't use emotional intelligence to actually, help people understand. And they won't move.
Sorry, go ahead.
They won't move closer. The company won't move closer to the people. It's always on the public to move closer to the company. Is the onus is on the public always, and so there's no conciliation, there's no compromise, and so that is just toxic. And people have a great bullshit detector. They know when they're being manipulated.
Do you know what's interesting about like it? So like for me, like now the penny drops a little bit more in terms of the flag that you're flying, right? Because as you were talking about that, I don't know why, what popped into my head, and I'm a huge fan of Jeremy Clarkson, obviously the Top Gear guys, and you know his TV series Jeremy Clarkson and the Farm. But I just feel like that is like how Jeremy Clarkson probably approached the farm situation is probably how most mining companies approach it, and then you see that situation in terms of impacting the community and stuff like that. So no, I was trying to understand like the specifics, the nuances of how it would disturb the community. How would the community feel? Those individuals who are, you know, protecting their community, and you know they're one out of many that are kind of doing it, and how they can, you know, be a stone in a company's shoe, essentially, right? So yeah, sorry, just chiming in there.
Yeah,
Arthur, got some thoughts on that, or was it Hayden? Do you want to carry on?
no, I thought Arthur would like to come in on that.
How can we wrap this in technology? How can technology sort this out? How can the organization?
Oh yeah, I have a lot to say about that.
Technology can sort this out through decentralization, and you could just have to vote, but a vote on a blockchain, you can't mess around with it, you know. You can influence it, you can do that. So that
it's almost
yeah.
Arthur, I think aside from the voting, is actually that influx of the data, the workflow, the work procedures. It's having that available and being completely transparent about that to allow people to see that as well. That's probably one of the main things. I guess, Hayden, you know, in a non-decentralized fashion, what probably happens is if a mine operation is about to happen, all of that documentation is, correct me if I'm wrong, publicly available, but you have to go and sort after it. You have to request it. That period of getting that information might be really long. It might be paper-based. I'm not sure about the nuances of that, but I guess, you know, the notion of the blockchain and you know, leveraging that just makes it instant to an extent, right?
That will be accessible for people who know about blockchain, but it's not going to help Mrs. Smith, who's 80 years old, who's really worried about her. So, you know, I'm thinking like, for me, it has to be like really tangible. So yeah, all these documents are available. You could maybe streamline that availability, make it like push it out there proactively. But at the end of the day, they are often technical documents, risk assessments, you know, simulations. People, they can't digest that. They just cannot. So it has to be either presented in a simplified way without being inaccurate, which is a skill in of itself. So it has to be modified and adapted for public consumption. But there are certainly ways. I mean, for example, right now you've got companies like Verify, for example, who do these amazing, like zooming through the mine site under the ground. It looks really cool stuff, and they use AI to. It would not be hard, and if they're listening, they should definitely do this. I'm giving them a piece of very valuable piece of information. For Christ's sake, go and run with it. I don't want to make any money off it, but you can. If you put a community module into your model, right? So you could actually create simulations, create visualizations, which showed the local community what the mine would look like from their village, okay? From the community. So like Mrs. Smith in her cottage down the valley can actually see, if she stands on 4th Street looking up, what's she going to see? The chances are she's going to see nothing, okay? This is, and then you could do other things too. You could simulate road traffic if it's going to increase due to mine activity. You could simulate sound radii if there's going to be blasting. You could actually, this is what's going to sound like on a day-by-day basis. And so immediately the company planning operations has this very immersive, powerful tool that they could take into a public hall, town hall setting, and actually have people engage with tangibly. That this is what it's going to look like, and that is what what it's going to look like, sound like, smell like. This is it, okay? And we want to talk about this. Might not be acceptable to you, so we want to make sure that you collaborate with us to make sure there's any concerns that you have, we actually know now, so we can actually make the simulation even better for you to accept. So that's how I would leverage technology. And as I said, I don't think this is a hard thing to do. They're smart people. And given how much we know, social license is fundamental to the success of a mining operation. Why on earth would not they do that? They should do that. It's worth millions.
It's almost taking the amount of effort that they put into raising, just to put the same amount of effort actually into getting buy-in, not from institutional investors, but from the community. It's kind of what you're implying as well.
Yeah. And the company who creates this modular add-on community module, they will make millions out of this. It's so important. There's a huge profit motive to do this. I don't know why it's not been done already.
True. True. For Mrs. Smith, if she's 80 years old, she doesn't know anything about blockchain, but maybe her grandchild or knows something. A blockchain is nothing but an open ledger, so you can verify everything there. And okay, what Hayden just said makes great sense. People like to see, because they can't. If you give them a paper, two-dimensional, they can't visualize.
Yeah, it's true. They're not going to read it. Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Go ahead, do what?
No, I was going to say, but it's a thing like it's one of the main reasons I feel the reason why they won't do it is because most of these companies, like those 10,000 out of the one, are trying to pull the wool over a lot of people's eyes. So even if they did visualize it, I think it's that trust factor where people are like, hey, look, we don't even know these people. They're coming into our local neighborhood and they're going to blast the crap out of this bit of ground, or they're going to do this drilling, and we don't trust them because they might have loads of money, and it's is the profit. At the end of it, there's huge profit margins at the end of their operation, and it is trust based, and it's really hard to build trust with people who've been living on that land for before this company ever existed. So it's kind of like who are you guys to tell us what's right and wrong, and who is a
Umar, that I could literally how you're saying it. I could imagine you're living in just look. I think me and Umar don't, and the British folks, right? We don't get exposed to being near mines, right? But what I could imagine is, imagine we're at the office in Winchester, doing some work, enjoying a bevy on a Friday, and then boom, we hear that in the distance. you drive past your usual route, beautiful scenes, and then you see mining operations, right? And just how they look like. It's I hear you on that. It's disturbing.
But it could be also perception, right? So what you're saying is like what they perceive that's what's going to happen, but it probably is completely opposite. It's probably just like non-destructive. It was an old mine that's being recommissioned, and it's a situation where it's not that bad, and it probably would help the local community and generate jobs and bring more money into the economy, more people in the local stores, etc. But I think you need a really good communicator. You need Hayden on your team to just slap them up.
You need Hayden on your team, some really good communication touch points.
Yeah,
and then it needs to be built on Arthur's eventual blockchain, and then everybody can access it very easily through WhatsApp.
Yeah, I just want to go back to what your point, Umar. You asked why hasn't it been done already? And for me, it's because unfortunately there really should be, but there isn't. There's no demand. So companies they're not like, well, why would we want that? They maybe have a community outreach officer who's not doing a very good job, but you know, they think they've ticked that box. We don't really need this extra. And to be honest with you, they do spend, like I think we talked about this last time. They spend, you know, $40,000 on drilling for a couple of days. What it would cost half that to employ someone to do their social media, which would actually be more profitable for them. But that's the thing. So, well, my big lesson that I learned when I started my company is that there was no demand for my training before I launched it. Nothing. And so I created demand. I created the product, and then I said, okay, this is the product, and I got people to do it for free. And then they suddenly realized, hey, holy crap, we actually need this. And then that's how it grew. So you can create the demand. So I would really recommend that a Verify or a company like that created a module for community outreach and just put it out there as a beta tester. And then suddenly I'm sure people would see that and value it.
The thing is, what one problem that I see, and I'll be quite diplomatic of how I communicate this, right, is industry. You know, I've worked in so many verticals, right? Automotive, financial services, manufacturing, direct to consumer good, healthcare, etc., etc. But really, what that industry cares about, they'll put money into. And then what they put money into, they will go out and seek the best talent, or that a talent would be attracted to that, right? And now when you look at mining, I think, yes, you can employ someone for 20 to 40K in terms of communications, outreach, marketing, PR, IR, whatever you want to kind of frame it as. But I also, from what I've seen in myself and Umar, is that the benchmark in terms of quality when it comes to the skill sets, the experiences, is not there. Like, I feel like what needs to happen more is mining needs to somehow headhunt and attract more people from outside of mining, right? Who have worked in industries, whether from a technology perspective or a marketing perspective, in these other industries which invest highly in marketing, highly in technology, because you get you get a different type of exposure when you work for a company where they are happy to give you a £5 million budget to run a campaign. Whereas if you echoed that to any type of mining company with a focus on trying to change perception, I don't think they'll know what to do with that in the correct way. So that's just something that, like, we've seen, and maybe, you know, without trying to toot our own drum, right? I think that's also why, like, a lot of people are probably resonating with myself and Umar. Like, we will never proclaim we're the best at what we do, but I think we're coming in with a different perspective, and we're leveraging a lot of experience that we've accrued individually and collectively from industries such as retail, luxury, healthcare, all of these type of industries. And I think that's just something that, I don't know how that problem can be solved. But it definitely is one that I feel like, it's
kind of like our conversation we had the other day, Hayden, or was it last week? I think it was around about recruitment and bringing in the way they pick certain people over others based on what school you've gone to or university. And I think, Hayden, you really nailed that one, that conversation, because I think that
you mentioned about neurodiverse thinking, because it's almost like, if you look at big pharma, right, and healthcare, they pay a premium on talent, right? And maybe that's something
they literally
consider.
During lockdown, do you remember when Meta and all the big tech companies just hired everyone?
Oh yeah, dude. When it was
hired everyone,
when the pandemic hit and everybody's running around trying to digitally transform, they were paying like crazy rates over talent, and but I actually think that's just a fundamental on how mining and probably other conventional legacy industries, they're paying attention to tech now, and they are willing to an extent to invest into technology. At least in mining, I think a few of the players are. But I think once more case studies come out of, like, you know, whether it's majors or some mid caps where they're leveraging technology to do a lot better, then others are going to follow suit, right? And then I think vice versa. It will take a couple of juniors, I think, to absolutely like smash their marketing and comms, and then everybody's going to start paying attention to seeing what they did and how they approached it.
Yeah, that's going to be your challenge. From a business perspective, is that you're going to have to get that early buy-in, a few early adopters, and they need to nail it, and it needs to be, as a result, success. So proof of concept. I haven't given up, but I am close to giving up with the junior sector, because it is like trying to turn the Titanic. You know, I don't know if they're gonna miss the iceberg, but they are so stuck in their ways. Seriously, I've heard again today, a good friend who does social media had a great chat with some money executives. She offered to go to their site to do some filming for free. And they said, no, we don't want that. I was like, dude, seriously. All right. So I'm taking a different tack. Oh, by the way, this is a highly respected, you know, mining geologist, does social media full on. Anyway, I'm like, okay, well, if they won't change, if they really are that myopic, then maybe we should actually communicate to the people that they need, and they need investors. So if we can convince the investors, like, okay, you want stable returns, you want to put your capital at risk. Okay, so these are the kinds of mining operations that you should be investing in here. But they have a very strong financial motive. So if we can convince them to only invest in specific types of mining operations en masse, and bring in the retail investors and the ESG investors, then suddenly the juniors will be like, oh, now we actually have to do things differently in order to get a slice of that pie. And so we could tackle it from both ends, I think. Work on the juniors, but it's flipping hard. Work on the investors too, because then they will get the juniors by the balls and then say, you want our money? Do this. Yeah.
That is actually that's a really good point, because that's literally what we deal with. Like when you talk to juniors, the same as us, we're like, oh, for God's sake, you know, they don't really get it anyways. And then they've painted a certain picture of their, you know, management team, and they kind of want to hide what they're doing. It's a bit weird. It's like, you know, they can be somewhere, you know, in a forest or wherever it is, and they don't want to tell the right story. They just want to, you know, say, no, we're, you know, working on farmland, or we're doing this and that. And it's just like, guys, we're living in an age where, you know, Google Maps exists. Like, they can literally someone can just go on Google and find out exactly where you're located. So what's more hiding it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think transparency sells. Like that's where we're headed towards. Like, everyone wants to, you know where they're investing their money. Like I consciously think about that when I invest into companies. I'm like, okay, let me check out, you know, on Google Maps, where are they located, and does this seem like a good investment? And you have to do your own research. That's as crazy as it sounds. Like, these companies don't make it easy for you either as an investor.
Yeah.
They just want you to look at a chart, and that's it. Like, hey, look at the chart. We got this much upside, but it's like, oh god, it's like, yeah.
Guys, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go. Unfortunately, my son's clobbering me. But it's been a pleasure to speak to you all. And it's been a pleasure to speak
honestly,
to you.
Hayden, it's a pleasure.
Appreciate
You've got some absolute gems, Hayden. So we love it. We love it. And I'm guessing you're going to be one of the regulars now as well.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to piss people off. Like, I'm always like messaging. I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe they don't want to jump on some of the people in that group chat we got. I was like, okay, but Hayden, we know you're.
Hayden, you're gonna have to send me a couple of selfies, and we can trade.
Yeah,
man. I want to be a Halo character too, man.
No, you are. You're on the next one now. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Sure,
thank you, Hayden.
Thank you so much, Hayden. Appreciate it.
Take care. Have a good evening, fellas. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just the three of us.
We,
Arthur,
yeah.
how's this live session been for you? Has it been insightful?
Very insightful. Very
Right.
insightful. Yes.
And vice versa as well. Like you have really good, that's what draws me to the technology side. As me and Varun have been going, looking into mining more and working with mining companies, what we've realized is, that side where what you represent, the blockchain, the tokenization side, the community, the decentralized. I feel like the physical and the digital world is at that
It will. Yes.
precipice, and it's gonna combine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One thing I think, like from just hearing the conversation today, I still feel like mining specifically, I don't think they're truly convinced. I don't think they fully understand what the opportunity is here and what's going to happen. And I feel like probably we'll end up.
They don't want to understand.
They don't want to understand, and we'll probably have to end up. Yeah, but I think what will end up happening.
Their game is raising money, right? So most of these companies we're looking at, their game is let's raise money on an idea. It's a white paper. At the end of the day, it's just a white paper, right? That's what we're doing. It's the same as these crypto companies. They're just white papers until they are something, right? Until you get the traction. But I feel like with technology, people are way more relaxed about, hey, I want to invest in this technology because they've seen, the growth of, like Meta, Google, in the last 10, 20 years, Apple, etc. So, when there's something that comes along, like I genuinely think Bitcoin was one of the greatest wonders since the start of the internet. When that came around, 2009, you had the Genesis block. Not many people understood it. Even back in 2012, 2013, I didn't really understand it. All I saw was, digital gold. That's how I saw it. I thought, okay, this is out the realms of the government, the institutions, and it feels like there's a community behind it. And that's how it started. It started with, a bunch of small investors, retail investors, and then it turned into, where it is now, where we have Trump and, not just Trump, it's like, BlackRock, all of these big companies. You had another one come out yesterday. I can't remember where it was. It was one of the, I put a post up there, and I think it was, so it's one of the big, what do they call them? The pension funds. And they came out and said, hey, you should put 5% in, was it Fidelity? Fidelity, bro. Yeah, Fidelity, I think it was. They've come out and said 5%. You can fact check it. That's why we need a fact checker. So when you're not feeling great, you need a fact checker to check. But yeah, look, they're saying, look, invest into, put 5% or 1 to 2% of your assets into crypto. So the door is opening up on crypto, but I think the real play is not. I genuinely think Bitcoin won't outlive real world assets. That's what I think. I think the real world assets tokenization will live longer than Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's idea is based on that idea. What do you think, Arthur?
Could be. I mean, I don't know where the financial system goes. I know where it goes, but I cannot say a timeline, because when the dollar loses all his value, because
currency debasement,
and all the other fiat currency, where do you measure then Bitcoin? Against what?
Yeah, that's true. It's going to keep going up.
Against what do you measure it then?
How do you measure it? That's true. Like if there's no dollar and currencies are going,
or a very hyperinflated dollar. I mean,
yeah. So that's interesting, because if you think about it, we've got Bitcoin, which is really an idea, right? It's an idea. As much as people talk about technology, it's about the people who believe in Bitcoin that makes the price go higher. And I've seen it this week, seen it years ago as well. It's the same thing. It's like, once people get behind it, it's the idea, hey, Bitcoin is the future. But then, we're talking about quantum computing, right? And then hacking, what comes along with quantum computing. And would it be able to hack into the Bitcoin network? And
yes, but you can you can quantum secure the network. So but
that constant battle, one's going to win and get ahead more than the other.
the race.
A real quantum computer with enough qubits could break the SHA-256 encryption algorithm and indeed take over the entire Bitcoin network.
Yeah. But then you'll have the opposite side. No, that makes sense, and it's just
But it doesn't make sense. First, such a quantum computer will probably be used first to break the nuclear codes of the, I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you think, like, when you think about that as well, and
of your enemies, yes,
exactly. So that's what it is, hacking globally, right? Governments, etc. And yeah, with Bitcoin, it's an interesting case because you could say it's digital gold, but it's only been around for what is it, 16 years now, something like that.
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
I think 2009.
16 years, but then you compare it to gold, which has been, would withstand it.
Thousands, tens of thousands of years.
Yeah, so it's like thousands and thousands of years got people using gold, right? I feel like it's got to be a hybrid where you have something like gold backed by physical, and you have that digital element to it that has a real.
Well,
that's
like
not fine.
basically.
I like the way Bitcoin is set up, and they have the mining, etc. And there's only a certain amount of coins, but then it's like, how many bloody coins you got to lose? There's only like a certain amount of coins, and it's just It's just an inflated asset that you can't actually use. It's just a treasury, and that's what it becomes, right? So
they've been talking about modifying the Bitcoin blockchain. I didn't read exactly, but BlackRock has some proposals on I don't know. I think they want to increase the supply or something.
They were back to the dollar again.
Already, I think 3 million Bitcoins are lost.
Yeah, I think you're about right. About 15% of Bitcoins are pretty much lost in wallets. I know some people who've lost some. I've pretty much lost some.
There are only 17 to 18 million entire supply.
And what, we've got like 1 million left to mine. That's it. About that, right? So we got so it's interesting. Arthur, I don't want to keep you too long because I know it's late.
It's midnight.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, Arthur. Honestly, you're more than welcome to come back next week or anytime you like. Yeah, thank you very much. And everyone, check out the co-op network. I think we put the link. Pretty sure we put the link in the chat. We'll share it again as well. Varun will share it again. And you know what, guys, if you're looking for a new this ain't financial advice, by the way, but if you're looking for a company to invest into, check them out. So Arthur, just before you go, so your offerings are live right now, right? So you've got your offerings on the website.
The utility token is live in a private sale round, and who buys in the private sale round will also get equity. That's the offer for a private investor. After the round is over, we vote. The Form community will vote what will happen in the next 2-3 steps. And then we go ahead and put it into practice.
Love it.
I also give up the ownership on the contracts and give it over to a governance council. So we can be 100% decentralized.
Amazing. I'm excited for it. Me and Varun are definitely going to get involved with some.
Sure.
We were talking about it the other day. We were like, "Yo, we need to to get involved."
You can definitely get involved. I told you, I'm open.
Yeah. Now we go back, Arthur. We've got a really good relationship, and I appreciate you. And you honestly, I think I've got a good radar to tell who's cut from a certain type of cloth. And Arthur, you're cut from a special cloth. Very special indeed. Appreciate it,
awesome.
Arthur.
Yeah,
And
Arthur, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. See you
I really
soon.
appreciate you, Arthur.
see you soon, Arthur.
Definitely see you soon. Thank you so much, Arthur.
Bye. It's been a good chat, Varun.
Just
You know what? I've just been battling this little illness I've got, and my brain was like a puzzle. But Hayden came with some absolute
fire. Yeah, just
knowledge. Arthur as well, what a legend. You know,
and
jumping
Sean,
on.
Sean,
It's like
Sean
like
as
12
usual.
o'clock. Yeah, 12 o'clock in Romania or something. So you know, and
No, he's like with Arthur and like his philosophy on Web3 technology as a whole. He's very much so like first principles driven, right?
Yeah,
human centered, community focused.
Yeah,
and you know he's a builder, right?
Yeah,
for me, like just techies. He's a techie, bro, that creates things. But with
he's definitely great. Honestly, like
there's not a lot of people like him. Like definitely not in Web3 especially, bro.
No, and what it is when you actually wait, who's this? JT, what are you saying, JT? Have you guys? When did you say that? 2:30. No, that's 2 minutes ago. JT, where are you? JT's in Ireland actually right now. Sorry for explaining to you, brother. But have you guys looked into Flare doing good things in DeFi space, especially for XRP and BTC and other coins too? So good money to be made in my eyes. Yes, JT. Varun will check that out right now for you. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's been an interesting conversation.
I'm assuming it's this blockchain.
Yeah, zoom in. I think it's that. It looks cool website. That's what I say first thing. It's got my attention.
yeah.
My attention, brother.
Building the best. Okay. Enshrined data protocols, Ethereum virtual machine, Flare stake, proof of stake.
Fast, decentralized, 100 data provider. This is pretty cool idea. Is it a decentralized data center? So what I'm reading, you went through that too quick, man.
No, I'm just trying to where is it?
The blockchain for data, yeah.
Yeah, blockchain for data, but I'm just trying to look for this is actually a really cool website, right?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm sold. Give me the facts. Go all in.
Here it is. Hold on. That's what I was looking for. Is there one single white?
You might need JT on, the man of the land. No, you're not reading that right now.
I'm definitely falling asleep.
All right, we're gonna have to research this one. But thanks for the.
We'll come back next week having researched this.
Yeah, Flare. I swear I've heard of it. I've probably seen it in my infinite feed on X of like investments and Bitcoin and BTC costs too much to transact. You know, he's right. BTC costs too much to transact, supposed to be store of value. But let's be honest, what does it actually do? Lots of coins have come behind it that do it better. No, you're bang on. So this is a conversation we had last week, I think. No, we didn't. Yeah, it was this week. Well, no, it was last week. We had a conversation with an individual, and we're talking about is Bitcoin a currency or a commodity? Well, you get charged capital gains tax on your in the UK on your Bitcoin when you sell your Bitcoin at a profit. So it is a commodity, but also it's a treasury in the eyes of these institutions. But I'm with you.
But a lot of the masses view it as a currency as well, right?
No, look,
the ones that are not as
loads of money, right? So, and you're doing certain activities, and you're trying to transfer money to different countries or whatever you're trying to do, right? Then it makes sense. You can't go with a big block of gold try to do that at an airport. Go to Heathrow, go carry 2 kilos of gold. See what they do to you. They're strip you naked. What are you doing? But think about Bitcoin. You can just transfer it to your next destination, and it's there. But we're in an age where everything is traced. It's all on the HMRC systems, anyways. So it's like when you buy
even more so now.
Coinbase, unless you buy it on the private market where I don't think a lot of people do. It must be quite small, but you know, everything's going to be on Coinbase. Very good stat to pull up. They all track you. They'll know exactly who's bought that Bitcoin and how much it's worth, and who, you know, you've sold it or you've transferred ownership. But Bitcoin right now is looking like a good short. It's looking like a good short. I think max pain goes down to $80,000, and I think that's a good place to buy. Where do I see it? It might just bounce from here and just do an absolute madness, right? But it's because you've got all these big institutions that want to get a hold of more Bitcoin and they want to shake out the market. But I think if I was, you know, BlackRock, or I was one of these big institutions, I'll send that. It's a polite word to say it. Send that bitch down to like 70, just to shake out those, you know, weak hands. Classic way to acquire more Bitcoin. Also, check out Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy. That's taking a hit as well. So year to date, this is what I don't get. Like everyone's like, yeah, Michael Saylor, invest into MicroStrategy, which I think is a great idea for institutions who can't directly invest into Bitcoin for certain reasons, probably legal reasons. But you know, they've been putting money in for the last year into MicroStrategy. But I swear, year to date, if you look at the share price, Varun, year to date is I think it's zero return.
Well,
Might be even negative now. MicroStrategy, MSTR is the ticker. But look, guys, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. Get yourself some Bitcoin. You know, it was fun when Bitcoin, when no one knew about it. It was quite fun because it was kind of like, what's Bitcoin? So go on year to date, YTD. Year to date, you got 3%. All right, now look at, so this is where institutions invest into these stock listed companies. Now, what's Bitcoin year to date? It must be about 30. Surely it's higher than that. PTC, yeah, and year to date. Where we at? 17%. So you're better off just buying physical Bitcoin, guys. We debunked that one for you. No, I'm joking. Invest in whatever you like. There's nothing to do with me. But, not financial advice. We just have fun.
Just write something and write the pig.
Yeah, for sure. Put a chart out. You know, people begging for those Bitcoin charts and
we need the Bitcoin charts.
Pascal, are you Pascal?
Yeah. Wait, that's a story for another time.
That's a story for another time. It's been a really good chat. I really enjoyed it, especially the deep sea.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the notion of what's going on in Greenland as well.
It's kind of like if you can't. It's better than going to war, I guess. It's like, you know, if you can just get in there diplomatically, why not? As a nation, if you're like America, come on. If you're an American, you know your country's gonna get richer and the debt's gonna get lower.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Actually,
imagine in the UK. Imagine the UK had Trump, and we just switched over, and we were like under that. I don't know. Obviously, we don't. Like, I don't fully agree with a lot of it. I'm probably like 50-50, but some things he says make sense, and some make no sense. But I think he's just like most politicians. It's just he's good at invoking emotions.
He's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, he's Hollywood.
Emotions. Oh, he's so Hollywood.
He was in what was it?
Home Alone. Obviously, Home Alone. Yeah, he was in Home Alone.
Yeah, but everyone used to love Trump. Do you remember, like before he went into politics, black, white, anywhere,
they loved it, right? The TV show Apprentice.
And then they made it about race and stuff. And I thought that was mind-boggling.
You just listened to a few people that you shouldn't have. And
yeah, it's an interesting.
It's
a tinfoil moment.
Tinfoil moment. But I thought what was funny is Sean's view on like Canada becoming like another state. That like
Yeah, I don't think that will happen though. I think
No, it won't.
the Canadians are very proud because I've seen which is good. Like they want their own sovereignty.
But you get a couple of 100,000 Sean's, bro. Nova Scotia gone.
It's like, no, take Nova Scotia with you. Give me $100,000
Take 60 number 60 out of 60.
Yeah. No, do you know what? It's the thing is, like I just think it's Canada's kind of part of the US anyways. Like, it's kind of there. It's a bit part of Britain as well. It's part of Britain as well. So it's
that's what I was about. My next question was like, what happens? How much of does the royal family own?
I think it's like 90%. They own like 90%. They don't own it like own it. I think it's the Crown estate or something. It owns 90% of. I don't want to throw it out there. This is why we need a fact checker on. We need it.
Become the Trump state.
Yeah, because sometimes I look back and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have even said that because it's live.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, yeah, I should have said that.
Our reach isn't there yet. It's cool for the 15 that have joined and been with us.
Yeah, we've got 15 joining now. It's very late. When it hits late time, everyone's just choosing.
Yeah, everybody's just. You guys are in bed right now. Probably got Netflix on, chilling. Just ate some good food.
You know how cold it is right now.
Right, it must be freezing where you are. I'm freezing. This thing has AC. Oh, who's calling you now?
JT, what's he saying? Hey, I'm on the live still, bro. What do you say? Nothing. You're on live now as well. What are you saying, Jack?
Oh, he said Jack. Oh, yeah, Jack. Oh,
JT on the live right now. Wait, can you hear him?
Nah, not properly. Oh yeah, now I can a little bit. JC, how are you, bro?
Yeah. How you doing, mate? You good, yeah?
Yeah, I see you like flossing on Instagram stories, looking all good all the time, man.
Yeah, I've just got back to the Airbnb. I'm like, right, Friday night recap. Let's still going. Oh, let's still going.
Let's still going.
We're still going.
I love it. I fucking love it, boys.
Yes, bro.
We appreciate it, man.
Keep tuning in, my brother.
I will, mate. You get some good people on as well.
No, honestly, we're gonna
randomers, isn't it?
Randomers, right? So that's what we try to do is bring in a load of different type of people. Maybe we have
neurodiverse thinking.
Jump on, give us your thoughts, mate. Give us a little recap of your week.
Recap of the private man lifestyle,
The private man lifestyle.
The private man lifestyle.
Man of the land.
The man of the land. That's
Jack,
it.
I'll let you get on, yeah?
Right.
Have a good one, mate. All right, cheers, man. Peace out. Hey, that was another host. What's that?
That's JT. I was like, who's JT?
Jack. Good old Jack. Nah, he's a legend. He's got some wild opinions, which we love.
I put him and Sean in the room together.
Put him and Sean in the room, and then we'll have a great conversation.
It'd be so far away from.
Yeah, it'd be like, what? You're gonna be joining. Be like, I thought this was about mining.
What was he talking to us about at the office? The whole.
I don't want to even go into it.
Okay, yeah.
He's gonna have to explain that on himself.
Yeah,
no, it's interesting. You know what? It's good to have. It's honestly good to have different types. We all say this, but it's like, really good to have different people from different industries or even different backgrounds, education levels. Sometimes I just sit back and I'm like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. This is a good conversation.
Yeah, I love brings it probably happens time in the mining community where they just got all the same lens, the same experience, the same things that they all kind of preach and listen to. Like it's an echo chamber of hardly keeping things the same. And I think that's in most industries, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And we've had that feedback a lot from people who've come from the tech industry. Look at Jim Caravella from Offworld.ai, CEO. Is he CEO and founder, right?
Yeah, CEO, yeah.
He's in AI and robotics. And one thing that, really made us think was when he told us, hey, look, I got into the mining industry and it just seemed like, I don't know the way he explained it way better than I'm going to explain it, right? But he was just saying that it's a big party and I'm not invited, so I have to go get my own wine.
Basically, yeah. But I think what's crazy is that like he's basically has his own mind, but they are essentially a prototype on this planet.
Yeah, but he's clever because he knows how to set a vision. Very smart individual. And the thing is that's what you have to do, especially for the younger generation, and why people are so infatuated with Elon Musk and these Michael Saylors and these other guys who are very well spoken. They're they spark that emotion in people, and they do a lot of podcast tours and do a lot of speaking, so people think, oh, these guys are human. I thought, you know what I mean? Like, imagine JD Rockefeller back in the days. You probably, all you've seen is in his new. You think he's some evil, crazy tycoon, and then it's because they didn't have that kind of digital exposure as these new.
They didn't have that documented, right? No. I think hardly, right? There's other.
And on that topic, he's got a great book. There's a great book called Letters. It's basically letters from JD Rockefeller to his son. There's 34 letters. You can probably pull it up if you have a look and you can share it. It's a really good book. It's just him sending letters to his younger son. I'm not sure how many sons he's got. I think he might only have one. No, he's got more than one. This must be his oldest son. But it's a really good book to read.
38 letters, yeah.
38 letters to his son, pretty much.
Let me see if I can get
It's a really good read.
Find a random letters to his son. Is this it? No, that's Earl of Chichfield.
No, but yeah, it's a really interesting read. It shows his human side. That in the day, the decisions he made. He was just a great chess player, like in business. You know what I mean? Like the way he thinks is very. That's why he was probably one of the richest men ever to live. The way he dominated the oil industry was crazy. Just a dollar in a dream.
It's just a summary. Don't think I can get an extract.
No, I've got it at home. A copy, mate.
Let's see if I can just get one of these. I just want to read one of the extracts.
Have you found it? I've chucked you on the screen. Oh, it's a really good book. But yeah, that's how people used to communicate back in the days. Letters and interviews, probably not. You're going to read one?
No, I don't think that's it. I think that is.
What is that? Video?
I don't know.
You're going to get hacked, bro.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely downloaded something dodgy.
No, get off that. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, sweet. Now our live's going to get taken over.
No, but it's been a really good, insightful talk. We'll be back next week with more energy. We might take the next week off.
Yeah, we might take the next week off. Like, I think me and Umar have just kind of, like, we're aware of what type of conversations that we want to have. I think we just want to come a little bit more, not necessarily structured, but a little
definitely more structured. We didn't even know how to, we do know how to do it. Haven't done it yet.
But like
conversations.
Yeah, be a bit more like informed, and then I think it's also just be a little bit more conscious of maybe like the type of guests that we bring. Fortunately, I think the people that we've got on board, like they are, deep experts in certain domains, but they've also got great breadth of knowledge. So the conversation goes and flows, right? So, but I think there's some collabs that we can do. Just spark a lot more interesting conversations on some specific topics. So,
people are enjoying it. I think we're getting great feedback from people we know, new people. I'm getting like LinkedIn messages, etc. People saying, "Hey, good guests on. Good chat." We've got some CEOs lined up. I think we've got at least like 2 really good minded CEOs lined up. One, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's some good ones in the mix, and we just want to have a good conversation. We're not polished. These lives. Honestly, I was telling Baron earlier. I was like, I can't be bothered. I don't feel like. I was like, you know what? We have to do it.
No, we have to. It's about being consistent on it. We don't know what we're doing. As in, like, you know, right now we're just turning up every Friday. You know, just like with the businesses that we're creating, Outliers, Muso, shout out Liam. Should have been here today. I think he went too far. Yeah, he was going to come to the office over here as well. It would have been a nice surprise guest visit. I don't know how he would have got past security though. Yeah, that would have been an interesting one. I've come to see Varun here at the office. There's nobody at it. It's 11 o'clock at night. There's nobody going to be here, son. But yeah, no, I think what we're just doing is just building as we go, and that's with all the bit like both businesses that we're doing, and including this kind of podcast live. But you know, intention is just to get a lot more interesting people. You know, conversations on things that we care about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Keep up the banter at the same time, because we need to have fun whilst we do it, right? Otherwise, what's the point of doing it?
I know. I mean, if you don't have fun, you walk away from it. That's why we have to have this debrief after all that information. You like Hayden downloaded all the information after, and you know, debrief.
Yeah,
chill out now.
Yeah. Even when he said he's going to explain it like a 5-year-old, and he's explaining it. Oh,
no, he's great, you know. No, I've got time for Hayden. The way he explains, I fully get it. Like, you know, I mean, it might be quite confusing for some people, but the way he explains it is so detailed. Like,
yeah. No, I get it. It's just you know, he's very, very passionate, and he went into diving into that PhD knowledge. I felt like I was in a lecture. Like that's what it felt like.
I loved it, honestly, because you know, learning about what goes on under the ocean. And
oh, dude, it scares the shit out of me now more than anything, because it's just like didn't think it would be, you know, like the notion of these like those dead zones, and there's many more there, and like, you know, how whatever we do deep sea is going to affect above, like land, I guess.
Yeah,
you just didn't think the impact was going to be as much.
It's already happening though. You know, there is mining. I think I put a post out on my LinkedIn like a while back, like it's been quite a while back, probably like 3 months ago or something. I think it was Japanese, pretty sure it's Japanese government, but I'd say Japan.
But they're going to be aggressive with it. That's the worry, right?
Yeah, look here. Look, I'm going to send it to you. Japan.
Can you not share it? Just share it.
How do I share?
I'll just keep getting dodgy Temu ads, mate.
Present invite, right? So then share screen. Which one do I share? I've got 2 monitors. Oh, okay. I gotta go through set. I'm gonna just send you the link.
WhatsApp it to me.
It's interesting. It's an interesting read. There we are. Sent. We need a little Jamie, like
we got one. I don't know where he's disappeared to. Ibra, I see you messaging in the DMs on the comments. Yeah, you need to be right opposite Umar. The next one, Uncle, if you're here listening to us, just make sure that the youngest Rafique, yeah, he's with Umar there. Otherwise, I might have to like just get your postcode and pull up and bring him politely, right? I hope you don't mind. I'll be very nice to your son, so I always am. But okay, what we've got here, Umar, you said oceanographic. So Japan to test deep sea mining amid public and scientific concern. Japan will begin test mining for rare earth materials extracted from the deep sea bed near I'm not even going to pronounce that island by as early as January next year. Its government has confirmed. So next year, right? So when was this written, Umar?
I saw it a few months back.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, basically next year.
What's it called? Minatori.
Right. I'll just act like that. I just said it like really nicely. Marking the world's first attempt to take such metals from the abyssal mud. Led by Shoichi Ishii of the Cabinet Ocean Innovation Platform, and using pipes deployed by Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science Technology, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Japan's government is pushing ahead with testing initiative despite a high level of pushback from environmental and scientific communities. But they probably know something similar to what Hayden's kind of echoing, who have warned in no uncertain terms that deep sea mining will cause irreversible harm to the ocean ecosystems. Like they give a shit. They're going to carry on anyway. Especially if they actually, especially if they get something. Oh, dude, everybody's going to start doing it.
Yeah.
So trials will begin next January. Cool. So if successful, the system could process up to 350 tons of mud per day. 350 tons of mud per day. Okay. Enabling separation of elements such as, I'm not going to even pronounce any of them. And to be fair, I've never heard of any of these either. For use of dysprosium, neodymium, Gando. I just feel like I've just said a Harry Potter spell on something there. Expellium for use in EV motors and devices. Okay.
You know what is happening is because of China has a chokehold on the rest of the world on rare earth minerals. I'm pretty sure it's like they have 80% of the rare earth minerals.
What is in based China, on their geography?
Yeah, rare earth percentage. Let me find out now what's actually. They have China supplied, or they supply 85 and 95% of the global demand for the 17 rare earth elements as of 2025.
How much?
So here, let me. Oh, actually, this is why. This is a good one from The Guardian. Let me send that over to you. So you can share it here. So they have more than 80% of China's rare earth reserves are located in Baotou, an industrial hub of 2.7 million people that abuts the Gobi Desert. So basically, they have geographically 80%. Yeah, 80% of the. I don't think of the world's rare earth mineral. I think they just mine a shit ton, and they. Could we share that? I have it on stage. So yeah, I think the governments and of different countries are in a position where they're thinking, hey, bad China, I'm gonna come and get out of rare.
Do you remember? Was it this year? This year, end of last year? I think me and you in the office, and then we started watching so many YouTube videos.
What's that show called? Canton Fair.
That's it. Was it Canton Fair? But what was the guy Canton Fair?
He was great. British chap that's gone out to
British chap.
Put it on YouTube quick.
I'm trying to find it. Hold on, British guy. Let me just find one of his videos.
The Canton Fair is like the biggest fair. Well, it's not fair. It's like a business event, right? Business expo in the world. It's absolutely massive. I think if you spend 5 minutes at each stall, it would probably take you 10 years to get around. I swear.
There he is.
What's his name? Shout out.
Oh, it was Barrett something, right? Shout out Barrett.
Shout out Barrett.
If
you're interested in China, he's the man.
Lee Barrett, that's it, guys. Honestly, like, just subscribe and follow to him. His
Barrett, yeah. And if you're looking to get into anything around, manufacturing, buying, supplying, I think Canton Fair is the place to go. It's absolutely
crazy. I think there was even to the extent, look at this stuff. Because what you got to also remember is stuff like okay, BYD, the vehicles, right? You might not really trust them because it's China.
China's a different world. They got robot calves.
They got robot calves. They got robot everything. But even if you look at BYD, right, they've basically jacked the entire IP of all these EV vehicles.
Jacked means stole, by the way.
Stole. They've stolen it. They're not stolen it. They have access to it, right? And as you do with IP, you leverage it. So they've leveraged it. and created these amazing vehicles. And then you might think, well, really, like, are they going to have great chassis or anything like that? But basically, because they supply every other automotive brand with the vast majority of their electronic parts, well, they have some deals. So the BYD vehicles, well, they have a Volvo chassis. So, okay, like, there's no better chassis in the world. They know what they're doing.
Look at this place. This is insane. We want to go here, don't we? Next year, China.
I think we were so close.
We were about to just book it and just go, but then we were like, "What? This is gonna say?"
Yeah, basically, Natal and Sam, we thought of you two, right? We're like, no, we won't go on impulse travel trip.
Can't be doing that.
We'll do it next year. We'll just give you a year notice rather than 2 weeks notice. Because I think.
But do you know what? When I see this stuff, it just makes you think how far behind we are.
Umar, this was the one that we were going to go to.
Yeah, look at this. It's literally picking tomatoes. The robot. So this is what's going to take your jobs if you're working at a farm. Look at that.
Do you know what I do with this? Oh, I know what I do with this. So, imagine having this. Imagine a happy slap craze with the robot running. Oh, the happy dance. Oh, fist bump. Okay. No, you know what? This is gonna, like, obviously, like, if they actually have this, applied to the.
You can never have this.
What's it called? But dude, what's it called? People that have lost limbs and stuff like that. I've got.
Yeah. I don't want to say the
wrong
thing.
Someone should. No, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but someone just throw it in the chat. You guys know what I mean.
Handicap.
No, it's
what do you call it?
It begins with A. I can't believe I've forgotten. Not ambidextrous, right? Amputees. Who require prosthetic limbs. Oh my god, I got there. I'm not a total dumbass, guys.
Yeah.
About to say ambidextrous. Damn, ambidextrous.
You know what? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, look how responsive that is. Oh, is he going to give a middle finger? Don't do it. Lee, don't do it.
He doesn't do the middle finger, does he? Two
No,
fingers.
he's definitely what? But it's not even working properly. Look.
No, because he doesn't have to do it. That's what it is. I think I've seen this one. Prosthetic limbs.
Okay. Oh, it's open now. Okay. Cool.
It's moving by itself, though, right? He probably doesn't have to use it.
But you know what it is? Also, we got to think about, like, this individual that they're speaking to here. Like, they are, it's like if me and Umar wanted to start our own robotics hand company. That's what he's kind of gone to. Obviously, they're a little bit more advanced, and I don't know if me and Umar started a robotic hand family. Yeah. No, I think that's cool.
Scroll through. What else does he get up to?
What's he got here?
Wrap this up. What's that? Look, it's grabbing your cups with a boba.
Little boba tea. Hold on. Oh, what's this?
Well, that's not a bad idea, though. I wouldn't mind that if it was just down the road and you just, like, it's like a vending machine and you can choose.
See, that's all it is, though, bro. It's just a vending machine. I think when I go to the other day, the other day we were driving somewhere, me and the whole family, and I wanted a coffee, and I was like, oh, we'll go Costa, go Farnham Common down the road, and then you just want to get a normal coffee. And my mum sees, like, BP or Shell. Look, they've got Costa sign. Why didn't you go there? Mum, it's a vending machine. Oh, same thing. No, it's not. It's not the same thing. It's not the same.
These Chinese guys, they're just different level. Chinese guys. I don't know why I said that. The Chinese are they're very advanced in what they do.
Okay, so this is what I want.
Especially the last 5 years. What are they selling it now?
Well, I just want to see this vehicle. Oh, damn. See this? Okay, so this type of stuff is where I just think, like, there's no use.
That's cool, though. If you like, it's like a bike, like a freewheeler.
It is. It's. I swear they got it in, like, India and Pakistan. Like, it's just a little rickshaw. It's basically a modern rickshaw, bro. An EV rickshaw. No, this would actually do well in India.
That seat looks comfy. I can't lie. That looks comfy. Don't know if it is. He's probably saying it is, right?
Yeah, no, it's like a smart car, right?
Look at this. What's this? Truck.
Got a big truck. Let's see him get in this truck. I just seen him jump up. All right, what are you doing in there, mate? Oh, I got an ad. Oh, I'm not using my
you ain't got
premium.
premium. You ain't
No, I
wasting-
have. I'm using it my work one. I could do my
Oh,
personal
okay.
one. But you know, one thing that we saw, like, you know, the interiors, right? Like the cars looked good and stuff like that, but the interiors were just
They don't have that
dashboards.
finesse.
Just no, they don't, and it just had iPads.
Do you know what it is?
everywhere.
Because they're all about just getting it out there for the lowest price, which makes sense, right? If you're going to do mass
Okay,
market, what's that?
some cool holographic stuff.
Cool. They're way ahead, right?
What's going on here? Oh, Mario, Luigi.
What's he on
All
there?
right. Okay. Oh, yo, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what this is. Is that Minions? Wait, we need to buy this
What's this?
for Jimmy Gravel.
Jimmy Grapple.
Jimmy, we're gonna buy you this so you can drive around your mine. Yo,
Find your mind on that.
wait, that is hilarious.
That's pretty cool. What is that? Just a little kid's toy.
Scooter. Is it a kid's toy? Is he gonna ride it? That looks.
It must be through
that
the
looks
airport.
good.
It must have a. It must be like a one of them. You know what I'm on about?
Well, the suitcase
Suitcase,
ones.
yeah,
Have
it
you
must
seen
be a
those? Oh,
suitcase
do you know what? Have I ever seen anybody the suitcase roll with that?
I
No.
have,
But
but I've
you've
seen an
seen
electric
someone.
one that follows you.
Oh, the electric. Oh, okay, that's cool. I think that's really cool. I'd
I
love
want,
to
I
get.
want the one with the scooter version. That looks cool. Suitcase scooter. Put that in quick.
Suitcase scooter.
And then when you watch this stuff, you don't even care what
No,
mind.
I want to get the aerial. Let's go the aerial. July 21.
Varun, right now, if you wanted one of those, are you gonna care what it was made from and what?
No, hell no, man. I'm gonna be rolling around, customizing, putting my own stickers, my decal. You know, when we were younger, we used to play Need for Speed.
Yeah,
I'd be doing that stuff to it. Look at that.
that's cool.
Roll it. Oh, look at
You know
this.
what? That big
Oh,
airport, that's super handy.
so handy.
You just sit on your suitcase, you're ready to go. Okay, press a button,
Okay.
lock it on.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah, extends as well.
But you know, one thing, it doesn't look that comfortable, bro. Like you got that. Like, yeah, that does not look comfortable.
No,
What is this? What
What
video
is
are
this
we
weird
watching?
video? What is this?
Wait, listen. We all. If you need to redo your ad, give Outliers a shout because this
Yeah,
is
I don't know that.
terrible. You're actually like making it really like you're devaluing your product. That's pretty. Yeah, no, cool little product. I don't know if I'd get it, but the remote
Nah.
ones are cool.
What the battery though? How safe is the battery on a flight? It's not that big actually. It's quite small. 73 watts. Kilowatts.
I don't know, dude. Like that.
Yeah,
Just
we all
looks...
SE.
Wouldn't you feel like no? Just really picture it. You just
I wouldn't do it.
You're at Heathrow T5,
Yeah.
and you're just rolling around with that, like, and you're the only person doing it. You're gonna look
You'll
like
feel
an imbecile.
emasculated.
Of course you would.
Like fucking pussy.
Like when you like I can imagine you, dude. Like you've got 3 kids, Sam. You're just lugging around everything. You know, like when you go shopping.
Them little trolleys, isn't it? Put a
You
pound
get the trolleys,
in.
chuck it on there.
Well, you
I
know what
don't think
pisses
you're
me
gonna
off?
have to pay
Yeah, I
for it.
can't lie. Yeah, in the UK, why the hell would you have to put a pound in a trolley? Who carries a pound of them nowadays?
I
You
don't
know
know
how
if
many times I've gone to like Tesco or I think Sainsbury's is right, they don't do it, but why the frick do you need a pound coin? Sometimes I can't even find a pound coin.
I don't carry around change anymore, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
So,
like what like it's so annoying, and you're just like, what? I've got to tell the security guard, can you get me a trolley? Because people have it on their fob, don't they? They have that little coin thing that they put in with the keys.
Is there any some innovative shopping trolley?
No, but the reason
Wait,
they do
that's-
that is so you put the trolley back. But the thing is, it's like,
Oh, hold on. Amazon Smart.
mm,
No, let's see what is it. This
I
little
think
short.
that's cool actually.
That's actually really cool.
You put it in,
And
and
it's
then it just literally, it already knows what it is.
Okay. Yeah, it looks nice. Looks
It'll
cool.
speed up
Okay.
so much time though, right?
I've never been. I've walked past one of
Smart
these.
shop.
I've never
Yeah,
gone
they do
in.
that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smart shop. I see people doing it, and I'm like, oh, that might be a good idea to do. And then I just never do it. Smart shopping. It's too technical for
Complete
us
digital,
folks.
It's like even this. Right,
Basically, they're going to have no employees in these stores eventually. It's just going to be robots filling the shelves up. You're already doing it, right? With self-service.
So you look at it.
Sometimes it's annoying though when you got a lot of shopping and they got all the tills closed. You're like, bro, what is going on here? No one's even working. You're in Sainsbury's and it's like there's one till open. You're like,
but that's right. Everything's self-service, right? Like literally, everything's self-service.
But
pretty much, they want people to
taking away the service though.
Yeah, of course it is. Because when you don't know anything, you know, the first thing I do, I'm like, look for a human. I'm like, hey, I don't know where's the avocados. Where the bloody avocados?
Have you done that before when you're just like walking around like 12 times and you're trying to find this one item and you're just like not finding it and you're just like, this is...
Dude,
I always try to find it first. I always try to find it myself first, and then I get pissed off and I have to go, yo, where's this? It's right there, right in front of you, and I'm just like, oh my God.
I try one or two times, but then the amount of time I'm spending for the avocado, then the next thing is I'm spending more than that time trying to look for some stuff.
Like, yeah, exactly. You chase them around the aisles and it's like they're running away from you.
Oh, Canton Fair. Who's this buddy living in China? Let's find out what this guy's name is.
America is done. What the hell?
American can't compete.
But you're having a influx of people from Silicon Valley going to Shenzhen to build products. That's what we've seen.
Yeah, because wearables, right? That's insane. It's beautiful.
I want to go China.
Let's close some clients and then we'll go China. Look at that. Yeah, that's what
clients you in here.
I wouldn't go that close to it because it might just start swinging.
Well, that robot there, he can't even walk properly. Pushing him over.
No, but you're right. There is like a huge influx of West going over there.
Crazy.
But look, dude,
right now, China's a global hub for manufacturing.
Oh, for manufacturing technology, right? It is the place to go. If you want to create a prototype of any proof of concept, wearable, smart glasses, I don't know, anything like Beyblade, whatever it is, you go, that is the place to go.
Yeah, that is the place to go. Look at that. Same.
But you got to have really good contacts. You know, me and Umar have spoken to a few people that I don't know, wouldn't trust them to make a medical device for me is all I'm saying.
No, I remember we got some funny calls.
Yeah.
He's never gonna watch this anyways, but I'm not gonna say his name, but yeah.
No.
Individual from China. I honestly, if you don't speak Cantonese or the local language, you're pretty much screwed. You need a good translator.
Yeah, you need a great translator, and you need someone
because the humor is different as well. So the way we, even from an American individual to someone in the UK, like your humor is different than theirs. What they find funny.
Also, you just need people who've already gone and been there and done it, and they can just save you a ton of time. Stop
Apparently,
mistakes.
What I've heard is they're very inviting, and they some places in China where they eat weird and wild foods. I'm not going to comment on it too much, but one of my friends was saying that he went out to China. Can't remember the exact location, but it's cheaper than Shenzhen and wherever they manufacture. Apparently there's somewhere in China that's more remote, so they're eating all these I don't know what they eat, insects, and you don't even know what you eat. He basically said you don't even know what you're eating, right? But he said they get quite offended if you don't eat it. So you got to munch it. So it's like,
I don't know, man. Yeah, you've already done that in certain other countries, which
never. I just look away.
What is this? This is like some crazy robot ball. Chase down crew. Imagine getting chased down the road by that, bro.
What is the use for that? It must be a reason. Oh my god!
I think it just runs mateys over if they steal something. That's what it looks like. Look at that crazy thing. God,
That's
do you know what it
cool.
reminds me? Oh, these are the warehouse stuff, logistics that
That's
they use.
pretty sick.
Those are cool. I think Amazon's probably fit with that. That just looks like a dodgy version of RDT2, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But these are R2D2, R2D2. But these, do you know what these remind me of? A Batman Begins, his motorbike.
Oh yeah. That's what it looks like. What's the use?
Imagine that. I think these are literally for the police force.
Oh, it is actually. Yeah, that's scary.
That's scary.
I think we will just go following China, right? But then you can go to Dubai and everything's tracked as well. It's a good point Hayden made about the digital IDs, right? In Dubai, it's all digital, I'm pretty sure, and it's like literally the R2. What did Bros? Oh yeah, I know. Right? Yeah, like you're pretty much tracked in Dubai. You're tracked everywhere you go. So the crime rate's super low because before once you've done your crime, obviously we don't do crime, but people out there do stupid stuff. They probably get caught in minutes because there's cameras on every corner. The city is designed like that, but people don't mind it. So it just depends if you know how you feel.
Umar, I'd love to have something like this. Look at this. I know they're not implying it, but imagine a video booklet. That's so cool.
That's actually cool.
But I don't know if that was it. I think they're just showing high quality TV.
Yeah, there's cars. We've got tons of VW there. What is that? What's he doing?
I don't know
Rewind that. What is he doing?
What is he doing? Why are you not driving?
What? He's not driving. He's got a VR set. Is he pretending to drive? Is that what he's doing? Getting it?
Yeah, probably. They've probably given an experience. This is how it feels to drive.
Oh, that's pretty cool though, in a way. It looks weird.
Yeah, but surely they should make it a steering wheel simulator. Just have it next to it.
What they had, yeah.
How does that even? Like when you and Liam went to Mercedes World.
Yeah. We've been
like that type of stuff.
Cars.
Well, that was great.
That was fun though. Who won that? Me? No, I didn't win that race today.
No, Liam's drove Liam's elite driver. He's drove. Was it F3 vehicles?
I don't know. Was it F3?
Yeah,
but I beat all on the reactions one. Do you remember? Because I realised how to do it.
He's got those lanky limbs. That's why.
That's what it was, isn't it? It was like.
You guys see the movie Avatar? Umar's Avatar. He's just got those lanky limbs.
So you do this, what is it, reaction test, and then you do your reaction test. You think, "Wow, I've done really well," and then you look at it one driver's time, and you're like, "How the hell has he done it in 15 seconds?"
Now, one thing that people don't realize, and probably those that don't follow F1, is that F1 drivers are athletes. The amount of G-force they have to go through, it'll just make normal people like us just pass out. Yeah. You see those in movies or TV series where they get the astronaut and they're doing their test pilot or training, and they go through that loop and their face goes all funny and then they pass out. That would literally happen to the average human being, or even someone that's pretty fit. That would happen. The neck strength is something ridiculous as well. And then you said their reaction time. All these scooters, they probably have a field day with some of these.
I bet.
All right, cool.
Right, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Thank you.
Those who stayed 16. Oh, damn. Really appreciate it, everybody.
Bad.
Yeah, not bad. Oh, one just left. All right, cool. Screw you. Nah, joking. Honestly,
if we're not, I think we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll probably end up doing it anyway. But we're
going to take the Friday off, and we're like, you know what? Just take one day.
Nah, I think we just got to turn up. We got to turn up. But
we're so busy throughout the week, so this is the last thing we prepare for. So when we're jumping on, we're like, oh, okay.
Literally,
especially when you're on the call with people are proper, in their bag.
Yeah, they're so in their bag, and then me and Umar, literally 2.5 hours before jumping on, he just calls me, "Yo, Varun, you all right? Yeah, what we doing today?" I don't know, man. We just look on the internet. So
it will get better. It will get
100% better. I think, and I think week on week, we're just getting in the flow, right?
Yeah, like we're getting used to you know, we say this every week, but like, I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah, it's like we're on a bike. We got our training wheels.
Training wheels. We still got them.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sam.
Yeah, thank you.
And Ibra will be. Oh, what's the guy's name? Jamie. Ibra, your name, and I'm sorry, for the duration of this year will not be Ibra.
We need a fact checker so bad, but you know why? Because there's so many times I'm just saying something. I know it's there, but my ADHD just goes all over the place, and then I'm just like, oh, you know what? It'd be great to see someone just pull it up on the screen. That's what when you watch, like, you know, there's really elite podcasts and discussions. They usually are one take. There's no edit.
Yeah. There's
no edit. So, but they have someone who's just like on you know, quickly searches it while they're speaking. Someone will be pulling something up, and they'll be like, okay, you know, you read it out, and you know, you tend to, as a term in the UK we say, waffle less. But yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Share it if you find it interesting. We will start working on some shorts eventually. We're just not there yet. We're just like, you know what? Let's just keep it going. Wow.
Nothing really worth it.
Episode 4 is not that deep.
Yeah. Wait till episode 40 and episode 140. That's when it's going to be. Me and Umar have a very high standard.
Yeah, we need to.
And yeah, once we get to that standard, I think you guys will know, and you know, you guys will. You guys supporting us just helps us. But cool, guys. God bless. Have a lovely weekend to everybody. And that's all we've got, guys.
See you
next Friday.
Have a good one.